Slow so you can breathe. Watch a new dance on me. Loving is moving slow. We just been moving our bodies. So we just been moving our bodies.
But you bring it back while you coming up on my body, baby.
Oh man, I love night storms, like going to sleep, thunder, lightning. My favorite thing is also like smoking outside in the back porch while it's storming.
Yeah, dude.
That's so nice.
The thing is, like, anytime it rains, I have to do some shit every single time. It's like always raining, and I have to go like do something, get in my car and like go somewhere. So like I don't like the fact that I'm busy. So like when it's raining, it just like people drive differently.
Yeah,
and
that's very true.
I don't know. I don't like the rain. I'd rather live in like Arizona or something. Like
you'll definitely experience
that heat.
You'll definitely experience very little water there.
If it wasn't
but you'll have that
spiders
dry
out
heat.
there.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for those ginormous like hand-sized spiders that they have.
So I've heard a lot that dry heat is better than the wet heat that we have.
Yes.
But I would take storms and all that stuff over constant dry heat all year and stuff that they got. And those crazy like 127 degree days that they got over in Arizona. Hell no, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, as long as you got some chapstick, you're good. That's it.
I would rather go to like, oh man, I don't know, somewhere.
Like Montana, like
yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I would like somewhere cold,
mountainous, lots of nature.
Washington.
Yeah,
That's
I think
cool.
Washington is cool, but it rains a lot
Not
too.
Seattle, Washington.
Seattle,
specifically. Not Seattle. Anywhere but Seattle, Washington.
I liked it out there. I actually enjoyed it out there. When I lived out west for a little bit, I really liked LA and stuff. Brooklyn was really cool, but
you've been all over the place.
Yeah, I kind of like I'll crash on couches for a month or two, and then I'll like
on
end up
sofas?
somewhere else. Yeah, sofas.
But
I'm on the sofa, on the sofa. But yeah, I was like writing albums and stuff with people, and I would just end up in like a new place, like Colorado, for like a month.
I not to detract from your experience, but I also feel like anywhere kind of feels special when you create memories like that.
Yeah, that's true.
When you're getting a lot done
true.
and stuff is happening.
I feel like stuff happens like that more elsewhere. I don't know if it's because I'm leaving my home to do it, and it's like more inspiring because I'm like making a journey out of it, like a whole like mission.
I feel
like
that's probably part of it.
To a place to write music or to play a show.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what else can I do around here? I'm all excited and like manic and shit, and like get out and like try to get involved in whatever I can. But like when I'm here, I'm like, oh man, I'm tired. I don't really want to be seen. I have a different mentality being home.
In like a micro version of that, that's exactly why I don't like work from home, because I feel like I'm just sitting and stewing and like nothing's really progressing. I'm just always home.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't
I like a separation of like when I have to get work done or do something, I like it to be a separate space from my house, because then I just feel a little bit more
spontaneous. Life is
I just feel like I'm accomplishing something or doing something and getting away from home and to do something.
Yeah,
and
then you're gonna come home and relax afterwards.
Yeah,
so you're already
and also if I'm home, it's a little bit harder for me to like. We're recording in a storm, by the way.
Check the audio.
Spooky.
It looks good.
Anyone have any ghost stories?
We'll get to that.
All right.
Dang, you just speed runs the
podcast.
Oh, is that real?
That's the ending. God, save that for the ending.
That's crazy. That's awesome. All right.
But I feel like when I'm home, I have a hard time like with self-control and like separating my mind into like relax or work mode. Like they blur together too much when I'm home because you're
already doing both at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like everything is blurred. that's what being a full-time artist is like. You wake up and you're like, fuck, another day on vacation, I guess. And you like wake up and like it's 3 p.m. and you stay up till like 5, and then you're like, wait, do I actually ever do anything meaningful, or am I just like in a fucking constant state of recovering from a night out? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of crazy. Like, because I went and played this show in Nashville. I opened for San Holo on the 19th
Nice.
in July. And
Oh, is this the picture? I was going to ask you about this. Was this the big picture you took on stage?
Yeah,
like the big
yeah.
selfie with the crowd? Sick
there was
picture.
a crowd of like 1,200 people
Yeah,
there.
dope.
Very cool.
Crazy. And they were all familiar with me because I signed with San Holo's label
Nice.
a few years ago. It's called Bitbird. And I did 2
Hey, welcome to
albums
Ghost
with
on the
them.
Aux. We have Sofasound here.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot to even say who I was.
I was about to forget to do the intro.
It's
but
all
that's
right.
why I had to
it's
do it
not
right
that
then.
important, I guess. Well, we're just all some guys talking about some shit. So.
Yeah.
But
So they all kind of recognize you a little bit because you're the
yeah,
label.
so like I played a few songs from like the albums I put out. I played like some of the singles.
Nice.
And you could see the reactions on people's faces. They're like, oh, I know this song. Like, kind of cool
Hell
because
yeah.
it's like, oh shit, that's my song. You know what I mean? Like I made that song and they know it already, and it's just like cool.
That's
and then,
definitely a super gratifying feeling
yeah,
to have your work, like to have other people besides yourself familiar with a piece of work you made.
yeah, like unreal. Like I never thought in my life. I guess like when I was younger, I always produced beats and stuff in high school. I started playing instruments because my dad's a musician his whole life, literally his whole entire life. Bass guitar, drums, piano. He sings. He's been in bands. He was in a band with Charlie Benanti from Anthrax, the drummer from Anthrax.
Oh, wow.
And like Frankie Bello, the bass player, was like his roadie. They're all friends. They played on a softball team. So he's always like been in the Bronx. He was in the music scene like heavily, and here too. Like people know him, Joe Sophia. He's like respected bass player in the area, but he always like put like guitars and like basses in my hand when I was like young, take pictures. And I grew up playing instruments. Like my first instrument was drums. I played in a metal band for like 6 or 7 years in a garage. And then I started doing like
Starting at like what
beats.
age?
I want to say like I was like 11 or
Okay.
12 when
Pretty
I
early.
joined a band. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Nice.
13th birthday, we played a show at my house in the living room for it was my 16th birthday.
Okay.
It was my sour 16, and I had my
Sour
band. Yeah,
16.
my band played,
Oh boy.
and it was funny. The girl I had a crush on was there, and it seemed like she was into me. I just didn't know what to do with it because I was such a virgin. But,
Feel like that.
but it was a good time. I mean, like I loved playing in that band. That was fun. We never played any like big shows or anything, but basically that got me started. I started getting interested in like writing songs with them, and I felt like I wanted more creative freedom. So I started to write my own stuff, and it was kind of like hip hop beats and like rapping at the beginning. And I was finding myself and shit. Like listening back, that stuff is like really cringy to me, but like
Everybody's
it's still
early
out.
stuff is super cringy.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is still out. But
I just recently did you watch it? I recently discovered a video of mine from when I was in high
Yes.
school. Where my friends and it was Christmas time, and I was in video production at school. Like I was a class I took.
okay, yeah,
And
yeah.
we were tasked with doing like contributing something to like a Christmas special. And so I acted in somebody else's video where it's a fight scene between Santa Claus and anti-Santa Claus, which is like the evil lost brother of Santa.
it's kind of like Krampus,
I was anti-Santa.
the
I was-
anti-Santa.
I was in Santa garb, like the red robes, everything, but it's black and white. It's like red and white, and I had a black and white Santa hat and a beard, the white beard and everything.
Oh my gosh,
We fought with candy cane swords.
that's pretty intense.
That's hard.
I'll show you the video later.
I
It's
actually-
cringy but really funny.
There's probably a video of me the first time I ever performed anything anywhere.
Really?
Yes, my sister was on a tap dance team, and they did a tap routine at the Sunrise Theater in Stewart.
Ooh, okay.
And I dressed up as Santa Claus.
Sunrise? Isn't that?
Is it Sunrise? Which one is the one? In
I thought
Stewart?
Sunrise that's Fort Pierce. Isn't
Is
it?
that-
The,
No, it's the other-
Lyric?
Lyric.
Lyric
Yeah.
is
Lyric. Yeah, it was the Stewart one. The Stewart
Yeah.
one. That Lyric Theater. My sister had a show there with her like tap team or whatever, and they were like, well, it's a Christmas dance and like the song is called Hey Santa, we need a Santa Claus. So I dressed up as Santa and like performed in a tap routine.
Hey,
That was the first thing I ever did on a stage,
nice.
and it was super embarrassing.
You were tap dancing?
No, I didn't tap dance. I was just dressed up as Santa, and like honestly, fair enough. I've had the beard on, and I was like feeling it. So
Did you just do the type of stuff that like a football mascots do, where they just kind of run around and
yeah,
be active?
I had like there was like parts in the song where I had to do like a little like hip thing
Okay.
because it was like with the
a
like
little
with the
choreography to
symbol.
it.
Yeah, it was a little
Hell
flair
yeah.
self. What do you call it? Like improvisation.
Yeah.
Freedom. The age of 8 or 9 or whatever.
Nice.
So
It was fun.
how many different projects have you been in? Because
That's a good question.
Yeah, because since I've known about you, it seems like you've been in several
I'm
different
in
ones.
so many projects
Yeah.
right now. Active projects too. Like there are ones like that are kind of dead, not dead, but like just not being like worked on. But
Yeah.
currently, I have like obviously I have Sofasound. It's like my main project. It's been like 16 years as Sofasound.
Wow.
Sofasound beats at first, and then I dropped the beats because I was like, I'm an artist. I'm not just a beat producer. I produce beats too,
Mhm.
but like I'm writing whole entire songs like
Yeah.
with structures and breakdowns and like emotion. It's not just like I'm not like making beats
Loops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you know what I mean. So like
Yeah.
I dropped that because I'm also playing and like writing like rock influence, like drum and bass, and I'm doing everything. So like Sofasound has been my like creative freedom, very open, no genre project. It's mostly chill.
It's basically just you.
It's me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if I just like some people just make their artist name John Sophia, like birth name. Like if I were to do that, it would probably make more sense. But Sofasound comes from my last name. It was a nickname, Sofa, in high school. People just call me Sofa because like, oh, it's Sofa. I don't know, like Sophia. They just like
No, that makes sense.
I see it.
it just kind of like worked. So I went with it. But yeah, so that's like my main project.
Were you back then when they gave you that nickname? Were you a bit of a real laid back type individual? Do you think they're looking
Yeah.
at you like this man just crashed on the sofa?
Yeah, I just didn't have a lot to say in
Okay.
school. I didn't have tattoos. I didn't have any piercings. I wore gym shorts and like collared shirts in high school. Like I just didn't have a style. I didn't think one way or another about art at all. Kind of weird. I was like a sports guy. I played
Interesting,
football.
yeah.
I was on the basketball team. I like only cared about sports and fitness at one point.
Yeah.
When would you say like the pivot happened to where you kind of emerged more into an artist state?
When I like I broke my left hip, and like when that happened,
Yeah.
I like had to recover. I took a step back, and I realized that like, well, I can like write music because it doesn't require me to like do anything physically, so I could sit there and write music. So I spent a lot of time doing it. I learned that I loved it, and then I like went to college for physical therapy.
Real quick to stop you before you go further.
Yeah.
So while you were in that downtime, what turned you on to starting to do music? Like what was
I
the
didn't
kind of
start doing music.
you said you started writing.
I
stuff.
started doing it more.
Oh, so you already a little.
I was
bit into-
already doing it my whole life. I just didn't make it the forefront, the focus,
Okay.
until like circumstances forced me to like focus on it more.
Gotcha.
And then once I did, I realized that like I started seeing like success in my own ways and stuff. You know, I ended up writing music for like League of Legends. Like I wrote music for Black Desert Online. I did a bunch
Wow,
of cool
Really?
shit.
No
Yeah.
shit.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Wow.
Honestly,
I knew
like-
League of Legends, but Black Desert, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then
I didn't know
this
either
game,
of those. That's awesome.
Session. It's like a skateboarding game called
I
Session.
know Session. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a song in there.
What?
Yeah, so I've been like doing a lot
Yeah.
of sync work, like lots of commercials. Like I got hit up to do a Lego Meta like VR Lego game commercial,
What?
and like I was
Dude,
writing music for it.
that's
And I
really
sent them
fire.
a few versions of it, and they ended up turning it down. But like, still, like I get hit up with opportunities like that, and that's kind of how I got my foot in the door a little bit, because I did the League of Legends songs too. After
I kind of derailed your story. You left off just so that we go linearly.
Yeah, I'll like go talk about everything.
Well, I just want to to make it a little bit easier for listeners. I cut you off. You were going into you're making music, and then you started going to college, and then
Yeah.
cut you off
I
there.
pretty much like failed out of college multiple times.
Okay.
I had to like pay out of state fees, and I was like, this is daunting. This is impossible. I'm not meant for this. And I became a full-time artist because I just started hitting up venues. I started hitting up labels, sending demo submissions all over the world.
What did you initially go to college for?
Physical therapy assistant program. It was like pretty much general biology major, like a 2-year thing. I did like most of the 2 years, and then I just never finished it. I just like couldn't be interested enough in it, you know? I actually got a grant to go to college. It was like a $5,000 grant. And I took that money. I bought all of my music gear. All of my music gear.
Nice.
And I like pretended to go to school every day for a semester. Like I lived with my parents, and I like literally would leave the house at like 8 a.m. and be like, I'm going to school. See you guys out. We got a lot of learning to do. I'll be back. And I'll like go sit at a coffee shop and come home. And eventually, like, you know, I had to pay the money back because, you know, you have to be enrolled in classes to like use that money.
Mhm.
So I still owed it back, but it was how I got my setup so I could start writing. Like
That's cool.
It has been everything on the line for music since like the beginning. Like I've always done whatever it takes, you know, spent like my money, like going on a trip across the country to like be in a studio with someone who can like change my life. Like I'll do something like that, like quickly.
Your own
No, this
money, other people's money.
Yeah. Other people's money.
That's the way to go.
That's the best kind.
That's the best way to go.
Yeah, if your card is lying around, I'm trying to get out to Colorado soon, so like, I would appreciate it. But yeah, I'm actually playing a show in Virginia on the 23rd.
Okay.
It's my first headline show out there
At
in
Sofasound?
Blacksburg. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, we're
Nice.
doing things. I'm booking myself. I'm really trying to get
Hell
my
yeah.
name out there. And I actually got hit up by another venue out there, so I might have like 2 while I'm out there.
Nice.
Oh,
Out in Virginia. That's
I know
interesting.
it's really weird.
Yeah, that's pretty
But
random.
I'm just like very open. I have conversations with everyone. I'll talk to anyone out anywhere, and I'll just tell them about myself. I'll be like, "Yo, I'm in a band called Turbo Kid. I like produce. I go by Sofasound." And then I'll be like, "You don't have to check it out or whatever. It's just like who I am. Like you met me, so this is who I am." And if they like are interested, they might know friends who are like, "Oh, actually, my friend just played a blah 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 blah," and like, why don't I put you 2 in touch? And then like they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm friends with the guy who books the events. Like, let's get you on the next one."
Mhm.
And like, honestly, I've been getting a lot of events by like word of mouth all over the country. I mean, the San Holo one was like kind of word of mouth.
That's
Yeah, like
That's really
I always feel like word of mouth is the like I feel like people kind of discredit it, but it's always like the most like
the most authentic.
significant and authentic
Yeah,
people
definitely.
are going to
Yeah.
be talking about you word of mouth ways, you know.
People hit you up on Instagram or like
I said that in the most weird way possible, but you know,
I
what meant.
understood. We all understood, right? We understood.
Right.
But when you get a message or like an email, it's like, is this a real person? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like obviously a person wrote the email. I'm not saying like is it a lizard? Is it a robot? Who's sending this message to me? Is it AI? No, it's
Like,
like,
it'd be more impressive if it was a lizard.
yeah.
I need to get on this label immediately.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
I'm a lizard too.
Yeah.
No, but like, I just feel like you don't have that. Like, what do you do for fun in your free time? Like, how do you dress? Like, what music do you listen to? Like, you know that about someone when you like hang out and talk,
Mhm.
and you figure out like what kind of vibe the person has,
Mhm.
and then it's like, oh yeah, dude, we got shows coming up. Like, totally. Like, I'll get you in there. Like, you're a cool dude. I feel like goes way further than like, yo, I've got like 50 million streams on Spotify and I'm a big deal and you should book me. Like in a message, you know what I mean? Like they're like, yeah, whatever, kid. Like, but if you like meet them,
Well,
you
even
have,
if they
like,
do actually have that following, that's just a really crappy way to like present yourself.
yeah.
Straight up.
Look
Look at my numbers.
Yeah.
So that's like, honestly, I'm talking about my own stats.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's kind of what you have to do
Yeah.
to sell yourself, because like I don't have 10,000 Instagram followers. You know what I mean? So I have to like sell myself in some way. So my press kit has like my streams, the, like big artists I've collabed with, like big venues I've played and stuff like that, or like articles written up about me. You kind of have to brag in your press kit, because it's like a resume. It's like, oh, well, I was the head chef at this restaurant and blah, blah,
Well,
blah.
at that point, it's not even bragging. It's just being truthful.
Yeah,
about
it's
accomplishments.
It's my work. It's my accomplishments. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like
That's honestly something that took me a long time to overcome, just in my life in general, is like learning how to find the balance between being humble and bragging, because there's a middle where you're just confident.
yeah,
You're just competent and confident, and you actually accomplish things without being, because like I would say, like there was a time in my life where I was like overly humble, and I didn't even in my own head recognize things that I had achieved.
totally.
But then
Totally.
I never wanted to go too far to like, I didn't want to come off as braggadocious about things.
Yeah,
either.
you're like worried about other people perceiving you as like a cocky person.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh,
So-
well, let me not be like too proud of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the line
Like-
between, trying to describe yourself to somebody and coming across as self-absorbed?
Right.
Yeah.
Willingness, like participants. So people who are like, oh, you make music, that's so cool. Like, where's the last place you played?
Mm-hmm.
It's, oh, I just played at blah blah. And like, I'll tell you about myself if you ask me.
Right.
But like, if I walk up to you and I'm like, yo, by the way, I just like played for 1,200 people in Nashville. It's like, yo, fuck this guy. Like, seriously, fuck this guy. But like, it's like, I think if someone is willing to, this is like my problem in dating, is like, I kind of just sit back and I'm like, let me see if they ask me about my music. Like, can I listen to something? Can you show me something? Like, if they don't do that, it's over. It's so over, bro. It's so.
I mean, that's what you
so
do with your
fast.
life. So I feel like that's kind of
It's
a
who I
given.
am.
Yeah.
You
Right, if they have
don't
no
have
interest
you have
in
no
the main
interest.
thing that you commit your life to.
You have no interest in me
Yeah.
as a person. Then
Mhm.
that's how I take that.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's been interesting because it's like, I guess people don't really like see that as a big deal in dating. It's like, oh, you make music. Like, I don't have to listen to it. I don't have to like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I just
I-
Would you feel
heavily
the-
disagree.
But
Well,
would
I
you
think-
feel the type of way about dating somebody who was a fan of your music?
I think I would. I'm not feel a type of way. I think I would date someone who was a fan of my music. If there's a genuine, real connection, like a real authentic friendship,
Mhm.
then it doesn't matter. Like
That's fair.
if I've like dated girls who are like painters, or like one was a violinist, like a fiddle player, and totally different things, I think. But she was so talented, and I used to like I think I just support the person I'm with. Like,
Right.
I don't really listen to fiddle music, but like, she was so talented, and it was fun to like watch and listen to her because I was dating her and stuff. And like, when I support someone, I feel like that's part of it. So it's just weird that a lot of friendships and like relationships now are like separate from, like, I don't want all of you. I just want like the parts that I want from you.
Well, I mean,
Just
I want the
Yeah.
a la carte version.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
you.
exactly.
I wanna
Like, leave
pick
the
and choose.
sides. Just put this. I don't want any sides. I just want the,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, vice versa. Would it be difficult, do you think, for you to date someone else who's also a musician at your level?
I don't think it would be a problem at all.
Because like I hear horror stories of that, because just the lifestyle would be hard to like be involved in your own craft while also trying to be involved / interested in your partners.
Dude, it couldn't be any worse than my last relationship, and she just had a normal like life.
Yeah.
Like, she was just too busy, had too much going on, and like, I couldn't imagine dating like a successful musician being any
Better.
different
Yeah.
or any worse, any better or worse than like what that already was as a normal relationship. So like, so it's very important to me that like the reason why I brought up this ex who played fiddle is because like I want to know about you and what you do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's just weird. It's just weird times, you know. People don't really care or have interest in like getting to know human beings as people.
Yeah.
Not even in dating, just in like you meet someone at a gas station who has a cleaning company, and it's like there is this like separation from wanting like a real connection until you get to know someone. And even still, like as friends, like I feel like it's really tough. Like I just now have like 2 or 3 good friends, but
I wonder if that what you're describing is more exaggerated when it comes to the world of music, just because of kind of how saturated, like everybody's a DJ, everybody's a musician, everybody's a something.
yeah.
And most of the people who you're talking to, pushing your music to, are other musicians.
Yeah,
and then the
totally,
people,
totally, totally.
I'm wondering from in the dating pool if like
it's like
if they don't
they're desensitized.
they're desensitized to like, oh, he's a musician, so it's like
That's totally what it is.
that'll be a hobby that he's into, but nothing serious. They don't know the extent.
That's totally.
They don't know
what
the
it
full
is. Yeah.
extent of how involved you really are.
I've gone.
Oh, so I'm you know, I don't want to speak for you. I'm sure
No,
you probably dated some that do know and just still didn't work out. But
Yeah,
I imagine
mean,
that's the case. A lot of people, it's just they just don't. It doesn't, you know.
They don't
I
comprehend.
think it is mostly that, you know. It's like there's so many, and then like you date a couple and they're like, yeah, it's about to take off.
Big things
Big
coming.
things coming soon.
Yeah,
Big things coming soon. And then it's like big
Making
things,
moves.
like 5 years later, and they're together, and like, and then she's like paying the bills still and like feeding him. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So like, and then it's like
Many such
you meet
cases.
another musician like me, and then you're like, oh really, dude? You're unemployed. Like pretty much. So you're fun employed. Like I get it. But
Fun employed? Is that
Yeah.
you say? I like that. I guess that's where I'm at. I'm technically fun employed.
I just got my job back at Big Apple Pizza.
Back? Are you
Yeah,
back there again?
I'm back there.
Same place?
Yeah.
Same place?
Yeah.
I also used to work there.
Hell yeah. They do like $10 in gas now every time you show up, and they're like,
Oh, really?
yeah,
They did for me when I was there. It was you get $10 as change.
like change. No,
yeah.
now it's like 20,
Okay,
so you get 10 that you keep. It's actually pretty nice.
That's cool.
And like
glad
they're-
they fixed that.
we're friends with the family. Like my parents like went to
I
church.
was too until
Oh no.
things happened. But
Yeah, I keep everything very like surface in life until it's like deep enough to where I know I can trust it.
let me just say, I'll tell you the story more off air.
Okay.
But let's just say that the owner and I did not see eye to eye, and he threatened to kill me. So yeah, that's when I quit.
He's a Christian man.
Yeah, well, he got some.
We're talking about
He got some praying to do.
talking about some Italians is what we're
Yes.
talking about.
Yes,
We're talking
exactly,
about
yes.
Italians. Yeah,
The Christians who will kill you.
yeah, exactly. And they'll
Yes.
drink about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's my family.
That's
You better watch out, yeah. But-
I've sort of like. I feel like I've put in my time with those type of jobs at this point that I
You're
just can't.
over it.
I'm over it.
I'm refreshed.
I don't discredit it or like look down on it at all, because it's a perfectly valid and respectable way to earn money and as a job. I don't have anything negative to say about that job. I can't
get
do it.
along.
I don't have the capacity to do that type of job anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just over it.
The thing is, it's so perfect for me because they let me like come and go.
Yeah,
Like I can leave for a few months if I wanted to.
that's cool.
They would be cool with it. Like, oh, you're going on tour.
Yeah,
When you get back, you pick up shifts again.
That's ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not like on payroll. They pay me in cash. It's like beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Like
that's good.
perfect situation. Like
Again,
really
I'll tell you my story off air.
yeah. No, I mean like listen, it's not been like the
Well,
perfect job.
This
that last
podcast
part,
is
by the way.
not sponsored by Big Apple Pizza.
Yeah.
Definitely not. but Yeah.
Anti-sponsored by Big Apple Pizza.
Support him though.
Yeah. I mean,
If you order there and request him to deliver,
Mm-hmm.
do you deliver it or
what?
do you
yeah,
deliver?
do delivery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Request him.
Yeah. Sofa. I'll bring you your pizzas and stuff.
Yeah.
And one day, well, I'll actually sign your pizza.
Hey, nice.
There you go.
You know, one day it'll be worth
Have
something.
you had anybody recognize you?
Not
delivery?
not delivering. No,
I've
I mean
had-
like from around town. Yeah, I feel like people have been like, "Oh, you're that dude that I met at that one show," you know, like in the crowd or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
or like stuff like that. But nothing like
I've on 2 occasions I've had people falsely recognize me.
really.
I've had people say, "Don't I know you?" or "I saw you this place or that place." I'm like, "Nope,
No,
not
no,
wrong guy."
Yeah.
Literally one time, this guy was like, "Yeah, I know you. We were at this place and we did a bunch of drugs." And I'm like, "Nope,
Yeah,
not me."
Sounds
I would.
right.
That's
That actually checks
That's
out.
why I don't remember you.
Yeah,
No.
there you go.
No, but I don't binge like that. I would have recognized this guy.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I don't like do any like heavy drugs or anything, but like some nights get a little bit weird.
Yeah.
You know, like drink enough, you smoke enough, and you kind of just get in that like hazy like headspace.
Yeah.
Shit gets weird.
For
Like
sure.
definitely the Nashville trip. I was there for like a week or so, maybe change. I don't know. But that whole trip was just like buck wild, dude.
How was Nashville? I hear a lot of good
Fun.
things about the music scene there.
It was so fun, man. The music scene's incredible. Every venue has like 3 different genres of music playing. There's like 3 different like stories. There's like
That's
a
so
DJ
sick.
on like the rooftops usually.
Okay.
It's like the coolest fucking place, man. And the thing is, like, Broadway gets old fast. So it's kind of like Vegas. You go there and you get overstimulated by like a lot of fucking raunchy chaos. And then like you get your fix and then you're like, all right, I'm never doing that again. Pretty much. But like, so fun.
And then 6 years, you're like,
know.
"Oh,
I'm ready
I'll
to-
go
I'm ready
again.
to- yeah, I'm ready to do it again.
Dip my toe in again."
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what working back at Big Apple was like for me. I like took a little break. Now I'm back. It's like, oh, I could tolerate this again.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I was talking about the projects that I was in. We've had this like however long gap, 30-minute gap in between that conversation. But basically,
We were just staring at the camera.
I'm just gonna like rapid fire my projects right now.
Yeah.
So there was one that I started with the lead vocalist from my band that I'm in now, Turbo Kid, called Mutual Fun. That was a project that I was a front man for, and I was writing like guitar riffs and singing and stuff, and he was helping me like write the rest of the parts. That never like took off. We did one song that we put out, and then I joined Turbo Kid. They started Turbo Kid before I was in it. They had another bassist, but he couldn't commit because he was in another band. So
That's how it goes.
yeah, and they were like, "Can you fill in for a show?" And then like a week went by. We had a show the following week. They're like, "Can you fill in? Can you learn like all of our songs by like Friday or Saturday or something?" And I was like, "Fuck it." I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And then I like learned the songs and stuff. We played the show. It went so fucking good.
I was
show.
gonna make the joke. It's like, "Oh, you're the bassist, so it'd be easy to learn all the songs." Just
Exactly.
one
You know,
note.
I mean, it's super easy. It is super easy.
No, but I don't.
It's easy
there's-
because
I know there's more to it than that. But
It's easy because I'm a fucking gangster.
Hell yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'd never say gangster. What
Feel
the hell was
different.
that? What the, where did that
why are you saying it with the hard R
That
too?
was weird.
Yeah,
I don't like it. I'm
gangster.
taking it back. I take it back. I'm taking it back.
Yeah, bleep that.
But yeah, literally just like censor it.
Yeah.
Censor everything but the R sound.
Oh no.
I'm such a beeper.
Oh no. But yeah, so I'm in Turbo Kid. Mutual Fun was another project. Groupthink is a project with, I don't know if you know Aiden Wells.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He and I started that project. That's active.
Okay.
So we have like 4 or 5
I was wondering
songs
about
out.
that. Yeah.
We're working on stuff. He just moved, so he's been like busy.
Yeah.
But he's got a studio set up in his apartment now. So like he's
Nice.
like, "When you coming over, bro? And we're gonna finish some music." We
Oh,
have
yeah.
like 2 or 3 songs we're gonna finish. And then I'm joining a band with, I don't know if you know Daedra, Derek.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Daedra's starting like a band project for his like new metal like rock stuff. And they're playing the Respectables, and they asked me to be the bassist, and Jeremy's the drummer. Jeremy's from Turbo Kid too.
I'm familiar with Jeremy because used to see him a lot at Kava Cat back
Yeah.
back in the Dizzy
Dizzy
when I was
Aiden.
briefly helping with open mic there and playing a lot.
Yeah. Him and Aiden are a band, Pavana.
Yeah.
With Beck.
Mhm.
So we're all kind of like incestuous.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, I was about to say, it seems like you
I
and
forgot about
Jeremy
that
are
for a
like
second.
in 3 different bands.
Yeah.
we're all sleeping
Which is
together.
different fun. It's like that's such the bassist and drummer's dilemma for real.
Yeah,
Pavana
Two
really
dudes in
kind
two
of
different bands.
left my mind for a moment until you reminded me. After,
dude,
yeah,
they're making a comeback. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not making a comeback. They're like
Who?
they didn't go anywhere. It's just
Pavana.
like
Oh yeah.
life scenarios.
I didn't mean that they went anywhere. I just meant that I like
They just stopped
until you
posting.
said it. I was like, oh yeah, Jeremy's in that too. Damn.
Yeah. Jeremy's doing a lot. That dude is locked in.
Yeah.
Um,
Every band out here needs a freaking drummer, so he's got a lot
Right.
of work.
I mean, Chase, the lead vocalist, is in Honestly Probably and Turbo Kid. He's a
Okay.
drummer in Honestly Probably, and he's the lead vocalist in Turbo Kid.
Why don't all you motherfuckers just get together, make one big band?
That's what I was saying. Like,
Make like a massive band of like 10 people.
our band,
The
Turbo Kid,
the
Super
PSL
group.
super group.
That would be kind of hard.
Turbo Kid, we all play each other's instruments.
That's cool.
So like we're talking about like switching instruments, like writing songs on different
And
instruments,
just
like
rotating.
have me
That'd be
frontman
kinda
for
cool.
have me frontman for a couple of songs because Chase, like, he's been saying his like voice gets super tired doing the whole set because he's like shouting the whole time. I was like, fuck it, why don't I like do a couple songs?
I just imagine like, give it up for Turbo Kid. Next up is blank, and it's just the same people.
It's the same guys, they
the same
just switch instruments.
Yeah, it's the same exact group.
All right, and give it up for the Fast Boys.
Have there been any bands that have done stuff like that before? Because I would imagine that like having the different people switch instruments like that would
Yeah, I'm
change
sure that's
the
a thing.
vibe of
Very
the
much,
band
yeah,
entirely.
totally.
Because they
I'm
all
sure
have
that's a
different
thing.
styles. Yeah,
I can't think of anyone off the top of my head, but I'm sure that's a thing.
it's a cool dynamic though.
Yeah. I definitely want to try
And
it.
I imagine it probably helps a lot when it comes to actually songwriting with the rest of the group because you all actually
Different
understand.
perspectives and stuff.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, I guess-
having that like knowledge of how to play the instrument. It's like, oh, what if you like
What
play
you can
this riff?
actually do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let me show you.
hmm
The only example, it's not really quite the same thing because only 2 people. But I was thinking of Pendulum and Knife Party. It's the same 2 guys, isn't it?
I love Knife Party.
Yeah. Well, Knife Party is 2 people from Pendulum. It's,
Oh.
it's Garrett and Rob Swire
Right.
from Pendulum who went off to do
How many
their
people
own,
are
like,
Pendulum total?
like 7.
Okay, I
7 or
thought
8,
I didn't
yeah.
know that. I don't really know their music.
Yeah, Pendulum is kind of what you were talking about, just like this 7-piece like super group where everybody does their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've seen a lot of their shows, and they may as well just be playing the tracks and just like moving around on stage with their fancy MIDI instruments. But it's a vibe. It's a vibe.
So how do you? Well, I guess work being really lenient with you, like schedule wise with you definitely helps. But like, how do you make time for all the different projects? You
I
just
don't.
kind of take things as they come.
Yeah,
like-
I'm in a constant state. It's like I'm like in a vortex, and it's just like and like everything is just happening, and then I'm like, oh fuck, Friday I have a show with my band, so I gotta focus on that, and then everything else is like gone from my mind. I have like a calendar, and I'm like,
so you just focus on that week.
I
thing
just have
and-
to focus on
Yeah.
the next thing, dude. The next thing coming up, because like if I start thinking about everything, I'm like, oh well, I have to download and make a set list for Virginia, and it's like, well, I have to learn a song for Friday at the Stamp SummerSlam with Turbo Kid. We're playing in Vero. It's like this Friday, and it's like I have to learn a new song, and it's like I'm working. You know, I just got shit I gotta handle. and
Yeah.
stuff. I'm writing an album. I have like
So like a solo album.
yeah, solo album. Yeah. So far, no real direction. At first, it was a breakup album, and
What
I like satisfied.
What genre is this?
It's like emo drum and bass.
Okay.
It's like
Interesting.
a combination of like alt rock and like electronic
Ooh.
music. It's really
Okay.
cool.
I can see
If
that.
if you've heard of Break-Ins, it's like inspired by Break-Ins. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not. It doesn't sound exactly. It sounds more like Sofasound than it sounds like Break-Ins. But it's inspired by that like feeling,
Interesting.
like that like alt punk, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, real sad boy shit.
Yeah.
And I get to play like my instruments, my guitars and stuff on it. I'm like producing like weird electronic bass sounds and shit, and like cool like upbeat drum patterns that are like synth bass, you know. Kind of fusing it. But the project, it's like I like after thinking about this relationship and everything, I really put a lot into it. And like this album was very raw and authentic, like a real true like experience. I've never connected with the lyrics the way that I connected with this project that I was working on. But she doesn't deserve an album. Like I don't want to like drop a whole album about this person. Like I just feel like it was a lesson. I got let down and like now it's just time to kind of like move on.
Mm-hmm.
And writing the music was good for me. And I might drop 1 or 2 or 3. I don't know. Like a couple of the songs, there's like 6. But like, is it like crazy of me to drop like a 6-song project about someone I dated for 8 months? Like, is that crazy? I don't know.
I don't think so.
No.
Really?
I know many artists who have done that several times.
Yeah. But
artists, there are artists have made careers off of.
Have you ever
that's
heard?
true.
Have
That's
you ever,
true. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a little known artist called Taylor Swift?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I actually like, can you show me something?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
I've never heard anything.
I feel like James Blake would be another good example.
James
Familiar
Blake,
with
yeah.
him. Yeah.
Frank Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
No, if the feeling was strong enough, I don't. It's perfectly valid to
Yeah.
put that out there. I don't think
This was like
I don't
the
look at
first-
it, at least as from a listener, like outside perspective. I don't look at it as like this person, like you said, is this person worth making this album about? I don't, as a from
Not
an
about
outside.
that, it's like me.
Yeah, I don't
It's
look
like-
at it as
yeah,
this person.
get
I
it.
look at it as this experience that the
That
artist
I
went
had.
through.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
true. No, that's super
That you're
true.
expressing through your art.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think about it though, and I'm like, I don't want to like immortalize something,
What do you mean?
like to put a song that is so emotionally charged about such a temporary phase of my life, and to put it out there, and then this person gets the satisfaction of checking my, like if that song does well, it's like because of them.
You think they're gonna look at it and be like, yeah, I did that.
No, I don't even mean that. I just don't want any possibility of that being a thing. I want to be completely separate of this person. I want nothing to do with this person. It's like, I don't want to put out something. Music means so much to me, and she couldn't care less about anything I ever wrote. You know what I mean?
Maybe that's the kind of thing that you can save for like physical sales that you make at shows or something.
Yeah,
You
maybe.
get like a little USB drive. It's like, here's this album that I made. I'm not releasing it.
Sad
Here's-
songs.
Yeah.
But it's some of my best work.
Sofa sad sounds.
Yeah.
Sad stuff it sounds.
Sad sofa.
Whatever you
sounds.
wanna call
I don't
it.
know.
Just, I don't know, some shit I wrote when I was feeling bad. But I'm also working on very hype, like upbeat house music at the same time. House and like electronic drum and bass
Yeah.
shit for like my live events.
Mhm.
That I'm connecting more with that stuff right now because I want to like live a happy, exciting, fun life. And if I'm constantly like feeding the side of me that is like hopeless, romantic, hurt, sad, lonely all the time, it's like that's my default. If I'm writing music that makes me feel happy and fun, it kind of puts me in the mentality to reach out more to venues and play more shows, and it
Well, then,
like
yes.
pushes me towards the life I'm looking for, as opposed to like sitting in my room and rotting and being sad and writing sad music. I'm really good at both, like, but I just have to choose like what kind of lifestyle I want.
Yeah.
That's fair. I
You
mean,
know?
yeah, to whichever one you feel is more healthy for you. It would be insane if you felt like you were noticing a significant like tick to your mental health for doing this sadder album as opposed to the happier music. Then yeah, you should probably, especially if it's not something that you feel super confident in like releasing.
Yeah.
You know, if you'd like, you shouldn't torture yourself over that. Just like finish it and get it out because it should be a fun
I-
thing. It should
Yeah,
be like something
right.
you want to do
I-
as an artist.
I would say it's kind of like I would encourage you to finish it, whether you release it or not, up to you. But to me, it's like one of those things.
Therapeutic.
It's therapeutic, and
Yeah.
it helps
Yeah.
you kind of get to the other side of it once it's
If-
done.
Yeah, if it is.
If it
Yeah.
is, if that is how you're looking at it or feeling about it as you're doing it, that's how I would say it is probably healthy.
I
you
think
know?
what's so crazy about this
Not that I'm a therapist. or anything.
relationship, it's like I'm talking about this because it's on my mind, I guess. But like the thing about it is, this is like the first time I've ever loved someone. I think I've dated someone before her for 4 years, this was my second longest relationship, only 8 months, but I actually loved this person. And I'd never experienced that like feeling, like actual genuinely like caring and considering another person's life and like their family too. And I actually had these like strong feelings. So like I did less writing music and more writing like notes to myself. Like I had to write pros and cons about her. I had to like show myself her true colors. I had to like prove it to myself. So I did a lot of this stuff. I wrote messages to her and put them in my notes. So I didn't send them to her to like hurt her feelings or anything. I would just like actually did a lot more of that than I did writing music. So this album, the fact that I wrote an album about it too, just like to me validates like, damn, I really put a lot into this relationship. And I was like, even like going to therapy about it and like, that shit was just not going to work. You know?
That definitely makes sense though.
Yeah. I think it would, I mean, ultimately it's your decision. You're going to do what you're going to do, but I think it would probably be worth it to publish it anyways, just because I think a lot of people could resonate with it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's all stuff like I knew you weren't able, like I loved you like a loser anyway. And like you took advantage of that. It's like you were using me. Like the songs are all like very honest. Like here's how it was. Like I see it for what it is now. It's not like romantic. I'm not like blinded by it anymore. Now I'm past it. And I don't know what you expect
rose
from
tint
me.
has been lifted away.
It's like you love me, but I don't see it. I don't feel it. And this is like all fake to me. Kind of like album. But it's cool. It's cool. There's a lot of like I want to show you guys. I wish I could like somehow show you guys, but
you probably, I mean, do you have anything online about it?
I have.
Like, or
well, I mean,
whatever?
I have
We
like
could do it after this.
yeah, I have.
In
show you
fact-
guys, but
Well, I'll save that question for later, actually.
yeah,
Actually, I'm just going to ask you now.
Yeah.
I usually will get permission from our guests to play music of theirs for the intro and outro.
yeah.
So if you have anything of that maybe you don't want to release, but you still want to share, maybe we
Yeah.
could use that.
That'd be cool.
But we can talk about that more later.
or I can promote my recent EP.
Also that.
Yeah.
Do it right now.
It's called Couch Mammals. It's a collab with an electronic duo called Bronze Whale. Benny and Aaron. They've been friends of mine for years now, and we've been writing music online for a while.
Yeah.
We finally just put out our first EP, and that shit is gas, my brothers. It's really good. I'm really proud of it, and we've been getting a really good response from it. I played at my show in Nashville, and like people were dancing and stuff.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
cool.
Nice.
How You Feeling probably is like my favorite song off the project, or Losing Me.
Okay.
Moving Our Bodies. They're all good. Actually, but
I just list off all of them.
yeah, they're
Like,
actually just like they're all good. So listen to all of them.
Nothing but bangers.
Nothing but bangers. That's it.
Hell yeah.
It's my career.
What would you say is like your like, because you have obvious interest and competency in multiple genres. What do you think is your like main your main like thing? If you had to pick one, like, do you prefer?
It would have to be based on this moment in time,
Okay.
because it'll change. It's gonna change. That's gonna change. Like I was really into folk music last year.
Okay.
I was writing like indie folk stuff and like indie pop. The year before that, I was making like experimental down-tempo electronic music. This year, I'm making like emo rock infused electronic music. It's like changed so much over time.
Mhm.
I was doing lo-fi beats for a while, ambient shit. But I guess if I had to choose like right now, I'm really loving rock music. Like alt rock, indie rock music.
Yeah.
Like artists that like solo artists who are making rock music. There's a dude named Cam Kaheen who's like fucking incredible. Breakins is incredible. There's a bunch of bands like A Plot in You. That's a great band. I don't know. I like it's hard to think like off the top of my head. I have like a playlist of like all the shit I'm listening to right now. Betcha's awesome. But
these are all people I'm not familiar with.
yeah, no, I mean like I'm listing off random names that are popping in my head, but there's honestly like thousands of bands and artists that I'm into right now. And a lot of rock.
So you really are the actual guy who is like, I'll listen to anything.
I literally will listen to absolutely anything.
That's
except for anything country fusion.
Country fusion.
So
that does
country
get into a
fusion.
Valid as fuck.
country
because,
fusion
like,
stuff does get into an icky territory.
I can listen to country music and I can listen to hip hop music. Do not play me a hip hop country song. Like, do not in my vicinity ever play me a country hip hop song. I just don't like it.
Cue Old Town Road.
I just
Don't have that playing in the background.
okay,
the whole
so there are
conversation.
artists like Jelly Roll who I really respect and admire.
Yeah.
Who does stuff like that. And it's like even that genre, I still like am an artist first. So like I give things the benefit of the doubt, but like if it's like 2 beers in my stereo with like a like with like some
Some
808s
trap
and
drums on it.
oh my god, just like
Yeah, it's
please
tough.
save me.
Is it like just a personal taste thing, or do you have a like specific criticism?
I think the specific criticism is the just like, hey y'all, let's make something that everyone's gonna like. It's like I don't like that mentality. I'm
Trying to please every single person
I'm not
ever.
making music that people will like.
For
In
the
fact,
lowest common denominator of
Yeah.
listener.
yeah. In fact, I make music that a lot of people don't like. And that's like more common than people liking my music, is people not liking it. And I think that it's
Yo, I made this new track you're gonna fucking hate.
yeah, dude, you're gonna fucking hate this shit.
Imagine.
You better
You just start out your shows like
you
that.
better not listen.
I hope
Everyone
everybody
plug your
fucking
ears.
hates
This shit
this.
sucks.
Shut up.
This
Primus.
next song is bad. Plug your ears. Are we having fun out there? I hope you're not.
There is a band that is literally Primus.
Oh,
That
dude!
does
Oh
that,
my
yeah.
god, that's so funny. Jeremy, the drummer in Turbo Kid, is really, really, really a big fan of.
I've shouted out
Yeah.
Jeremy Jenkins on here a few times.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I keep on saying it. I'm just, I guess, for
He hasn't been on here, but I've shouted him out once
you
or
should
twice.
have Turbo Kid.
I do.
Yeah.
A Turbo Kid.
As a group
That-
of friends,
that's-
we are fucking funny, dude.
That
We're
was
fun
part
to
of why.
hang out with.
That was a portion of why I had you on here, invited you, because I wanted that in to get you
Okay.
talk about you, talk with you, and then at a later
They-
date get the whole band.
Would be so happy to come in and do this.
I want to do it with them.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
We'll set it up because I mean, like, I'm in my own life. Anything that you do can only benefit you. Like taking opportunities like this to talk about like my music, like, can only benefit me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to inspire all of them to be more like go getting. Like, let's actually like rent a van and like book 4 shows out of state, and like we're gonna go play these shows together. Like, we can do these things. We don't have to like dream about it.
Right.
We can actually try to do them.
You don't have to pray and wait for something to maybe fall into your lap.
Yes.
You have to
to make them
reach for
happen.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
reach up and try and like book. We're booking shows. We're opening up for a band called Guttermouth. They're like a big punk band.
cool.
And then we're opening up for this band called Agent Orange, and they're like pretty massive.
Mm.
They're
Where is this?
surf rock. I'm not sure. I think Guttermouth is at East Ocean Pub in Stewart.
Okay.
And then that's September. That one's September 15th, I think, or 14th. I get it mixed up because I'm playing in Orlando the day before, I think. So maybe the 15th. And then the Agent Orange show, I'm not sure where that's at yet. But we're playing in Vero on Friday. We just played in Delray at this AAYC. It's like a yacht club bar. It's pretty cool, man. Honestly, it was a good show.
Alcoholics Anonymous Yacht
Yacht
Club.
Yeah,
There you go.
Imagine
that makes sense.
it would be fitting for yachters.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, that was a good time. So I mean, I guess like ever since this breakup, the band just happened to like be a good focus for me. I like jumped in. We started like practicing, playing shows. It was like something, so I wasn't sulking. I was like just going out and like hanging out with my friends and playing music all over. And we're not making like a killing like financially. We're definitely like starting out like as a band, but like we're gaining a lot of respect around here.
Yeah,
because we're like playing any show we can.
I feel like you guys are already like very respected and repudiated musicians in the area already.
Individually,
so,
yeah.
in our
the
own
fact that you're
like,
coming
ways
together
and
as a
stuff.
band is kind of a big deal.
it is.
Yeah, I feel like we can do something cool in Port St. Lucie or like Stewart. There's like there is not a thriving potential for electronic music here, but there is for punk music.
Yes.
There is for rock music. Like if you're in a metal band, if you're in a punk band and you're in this area, venues and like places are shooting themselves in the foot by not throwing more punk and emo events around here.
I say the same thing about electronic.
Well, no, because okay, so like the only gripe I have with that is like they throw these events and then 3 people show up. But if you throw a punk event, people pack out. Like East Ocean Pub is a small place and we're selling out the whole place. You know, there's people standing like body to body in there.
Yeah.
And it's like we're just a little band, like, but people like this kind of music around here for some reason. Like,
no, I
it goes
definitely
over
give
well.
it to you on that the genre has a bit more pull. It's a bit more.
Everyone is like
everyone's attracted to that underground kind of aesthetic, that vibe about it. That's like, well, the punk emo underground, like the whole thing about it, the whole, you know,
the culture.
It's fitting.
Cool. And then, you know, it's like counterculture to not have tattoos. I don't know. Do you guys have tattoos?
I don't.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So like you guys are actually like, it's like having tattoos now to not have tattoos.
Really?
Yeah.
I plan to
You're
get
like
a couple.
counterculture. You're like so
Hell yeah.
unintentionally cool by not having tattoos now.
Yeah.
Everyone has them.
Yeah, get fucked, lames.
Exactly. Exactly.
You fucking inkies.
Yeah,
Oh man, I'm one of them.
I've never. I mean, like, I do plan to get 1 or 2 tattoos.
I think you should. I support it.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's definitely
I
worth it.
want to.
But it is cool that some people are like, I want my skin to be completely untouched. And
It is funny
the vibe or whatever.
to me that, like, in recent years, the counterculture flipped the opposite way to where it's more like straight edge. A lot of people are straight edge.
Yeah.
Like no alcohol, no drugs, no tattoos. Like some people, you could kind of call it. Well, I guess it depends on who you ask and what circles you run in, but you could even consider like people being more like conservative and traditionalist is sort of becoming counterculture in a way.
Yeah. Like being conservative, like is like counter. It's like not normal anymore.
Right.
Growing up, like my family, all of my friends' families, they were all like Catholic.
Well, I mean,
better go to
particularly
church.
in like our demographic, like our age range. That's being that more traditional mindset or like way of thinking and way of living and stuff, and that leans into that conservatism a little bit. But even beyond that, just like the not drinking and all the other stuff
The
I said,
style,
that all that is very counterculture within our age range, I would say.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I think
like kava bars. Kava bars, for an example, there's a lot of people who are just like,
you walk in, people look like me.
well, there's just a lot of people who are just like no alcohol, and I feel like a handful of years ago it was very different, where people will drink just because it's like a normal part of nightlife and whatever.
Yeah.
But now it's like there's like a movement of don't drink and don't smoke and like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I don't think that it will catch on as heavily as it seems to be, because
no, I don't think so.
At the end of the day, I have like a controversial take on like
let's hear it.
You and I both. We all do.
Kava and Kratom, but like, first of all, Kratom was ruining my life. I was spending all of my money on it. I was physically dependent on it. And when I stopped drinking
Many
it,
such cases.
yeah, and I felt like fucking shit about myself physically and emotionally when I stopped drinking it. I just don't like when I have to derail my night to go do something. Like, I'm with like my ex at the time, and we're like spending quality time together, and I'm having a panic attack at 10 p.m. and I have to leave her house to go get kratom. It's like not my fucking thing, you know?
Right.
And then like,
well,
if I drink kava, if I drink enough, like 2 or 3 shells or whatever of kava, I'm throwing that shit up.
Really?
It's nauseating.
Wow.
No, like it does not sit in my stomach well. I mean, I don't want to be like this, but I can drink as much alcohol as I want and not feel sick. Like,
I mean,
I'm
they're very different things.
it's totally different. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
totally a root, and it's like fibrous. It gives you like gas and stuff.
I've never really had any gastrointestinal issues with kava or
I
kratom.
love that there's just like straight up like goober in here.
Yeah. Yeah, we got goober on deck. That's the
Goober on
off-brand
deck.
goober.
Yeah, keep
The generic goober.
Save money.
we keep that thing.
Generic
on us, yeah.
goober.
That was my high school nickname.
Generic goober.
Yeah.
That's like a Discord handle. Or like, Reddit.
That's
handle.
an auto-generated Xbox Live gamer tag.
Yeah.
Generic goober.
Yeah.
Generic _goober 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not. That's part of the set dressing. Fuck it, I'll own it.
Yeah.
That's just part of the set.
It's got to be.
It fits perfectly.
It's an art install.
I think I think just the
Does that take 2 hours?
it's 1 hour.
Oh, I was like, we've been talking, we've been yapping.
Logic starts at an hour for some.
Well, a lot of
God.
it's like it's a setting that has to do with like the way that film is like timed. SMPT, I think, is what it's called, and it's the way it's for like when you're editing sound with film.
Oh,
so
I don't really
time stamp it.
I don't really understand it because I've never had to do it, but it has something to do with like the way that film time is kept, and it's a little bit different than audio, I guess, for some reason. So Logic defaults to that. I think you can change it, but I just haven't, because in my mind I just corrected like, oh, it says 2, it's actually 1. But yeah, it's a DAW thing. I don't understand.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2. I was like,
no, but this
I got
does
a lot
apply
to say.
time. But I think there's a growing movement of just people who are conscious about what they're putting in their body and trying not to be overly dependent on any one substance.
I think that's like the healthiest way to be, because like
Personally,
balance.
I don't have a problem with alcohol. I don't have a problem with kava, kratom, weed, whatever. It's just when you make it an integral part of your life that you like have to go out of your, like you're saying, like you have to go out of your way.
Derails your life.
Derails
It changes
you
the way you're
yeah,
living.
That's when it
It's
becomes
not
an
good.
issue.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so like,
And thankfully, I'm glad that, because I've had that experience in the past with weed.
yeah.
I never had alcohol issues because I just don't like alcohol enough for that to be a problem. I do enjoy it occasionally, but I'm more of a liquor guy. Not really. I don't like beer. Beer upsets my stomach.
I like
Kava and kratom, I also enjoy it, but I don't like it enough to go out every night to have it. It's like a once a week, every other week type of thing for me. But weed, there was a period where I had that mindset that was that immature, foolish mindset that I think a lot of people had at one point, that weed doesn't do anything bad to you. It's not addictive and all this stuff.
Yeah.
When I think the truth is everything can be addictive. It's a person to person.
It is
case.
totally
yeah.
a self journey, like
Yeah.
a self battle. Like,
And I had to course correct because it got to a point where like I'm very grateful that I don't really have internal issues with like my mental state. Like I can pretty easily recognize like I don't get depression out of nowhere.
it's like,
I don't
something
get
happened.
like
and I
I'm
feel
usually a
sad.
pretty steady.
You're unironically
Baseline.
the most like mentally stable person I've met in PSL.
Really?
I'm not, and that's,
That's
not an
so
that's
crazy.
not an exaggeration.
Wow, congratulations. What's it like?
Well, I will.
Right?
I will brag because one time I did go to a therapist, and this was like Okay, I don't want to get into whole.
Actually, one time I went to a therapist, so
I don't want to get
I'm just
into.
like you.
No.
A twisted fucking sociopath.
Actually, no. The exact opposite. This was. I don't want to get too deep into like life story because this is not about me. It's about you.
Yeah.
But there was a person my mom dated when I was a little younger, and they went to couples therapy, and as part of that, I also got a couple of sessions with the therapist.
yeah.
And basically, that therapist, after maybe 2 sessions, told my mom he doesn't really need to be here. Like he's
Just
handling all this really well. He
doing
doesn't
a good
really need
job.
it.
Yeah.
And so I low key brag about that sometimes. Like, yeah, I went to therapy. I didn't. He told me I didn't need it.
they told me not.
Didn't even want my money.
Yeah. Damn.
No, but my point in bringing that up was when I am depressed or sad, I can like logically point to like a reason, a cause of something that I'm doing wrong or something that I need to fix in my life or whatever the case is. But when I was smoking too much weed, there was times where I would just get high and it would just cause like
Viral.
it would just cause like a chemical imbalance to where I just felt like shit.
The big sad.
I just felt sad
Yeah.
for no
As opposed to-
reason
yeah.
that I couldn't point to anything because I've always been able to point to like what's wrong. But when I would, for a time, I would basically get high every day or like most of the time throughout the day, basically take any chance to be high. With the one exception being like most of the time at work, I didn't like to be high, but anytime outside of that, I was high all the time. And I had to course correct that because it was fucking me up. And I took like a month clean, like off of it entirely, and then started to experiment again a little bit. But now I've found my sweet spot where like I very rarely can have those like, you know, get really zooted type of sessions.
Oh,
if I smoke, it's gonna be like a little bit,
yeah,
and then I'm just done for the night. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like I can't do it in the quantities that I used to because it's just I've just learned that it just doesn't work for me.
I smoke like pretty heavily.
Yeah.
At the moment, I find that it's as long as it's enhancing my life, it'll be part of my life until it stops enhancing my life, and then I'll stop doing it. I stop in cycles, you know what I mean? Like I go like a few months, and then I very, very, very fast racing thoughts, high anxiety. I'm amped, you know what I mean? Like I'm always in a heightened emotional state. I feel like
I'm so sorry that all that just blew right at you.
it's kind of nice.
You're talking really serious, and I just feel the smoke in your face. I apologize,
No, it's all good.
but you're amped.
Yeah, so I get very scattered.
Are you saying that your amped is like that's your baseline?
That's my baseline.
Heightened?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I'll smoke and then like my thoughts streamline and I only have a few. It's like more intentional. I become more intentional.
Okay.
And I feel like it slows it down. It just slows me down a little bit instead of being like 20 fucking thousand feet ahead of where I am thinking about, but what if this, and what if I need to do this, and I'll make sure I call this person, and blah, like I smoke and then I'm just like, all right, what do I need to do right now? Like makes me focus like on my
right now priority.
Yeah. Like I
can relate to
that. It doesn't make
that.
me stupid.
Absolutely.
It doesn't make me tired. It doesn't make me,
Oh, it makes me goofy for sure.
it doesn't make me goofy.
It makes me goofy. It makes me more, depending on what level of high. If I'm a medium level high, I could be extra talkative. And if I get too high, then I
Sometimes
shut down.
Yeah, sometimes it makes me, nonverbal, literally just like go nonverbal. But I like that too, because I don't always need to say stuff. Sometimes it's really nice to be out somewhere and just fade back. Just like
Just
let
take it
other,
in.
yeah, let other people just like talk and you're there.
I generally enjoy that too a lot, actually. And sometimes I like to, like, if I go out, I like to kind of float around, especially somewhere that has a lot of different people that I know that are all there. I kind of like to float around to different groups of people and kind of just listen in and like be part of the group for a minute and like
See
catch
what
up with
people
those
are up
people
to.
and just listen. Like, I've always been a fan of. I think that's why I like podcasts so much.
Yeah.
Or in that type of content, and that like throughout my life, because I just like to sit there and
about
listen to people
and,
talk
Yeah.
and learn about stuff, and like not have to feel obligated to also engage. Because sometimes I'm kind of like, despite the fact that I do this podcast, I'm actually a little bit kind of introverted.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
I can be.
I don't like to necessarily be the center of attention. I like to be included, but I don't want to be the main person.
I'm born introverted, forced to yap. My career choice is based around interaction. So I come off as very outgoing and extroverted, but I literally have to hype myself up and talk myself up to like go be in a public place. Like I feel like I've done a pretty good job of being able to like kind of, my baseline is introvert, but I'm not so introverted that I shut down in a conversation. Like I can kind of turn it on and off. Like I'm like a masked introvert. Me too.
You know what I mean? Like I can be outgoing when I need to be, like or if I want to be, depending.
But
on
I'm gonna
the
need
scenario.
to sleep all day.
Right.
Day.
I'm gonna need the next 2 days to
like, I'm gonna need a day or two in between like these things. Yeah. Like last night, I got invited to play this like private flow night.
Okay.
At someone's house in Jupiter, and they built like a stage. It was
the Octagon.
Oh, the Octagon. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've been
it
there.
was cool.
That's
It was
actually
really
happening
cool.
tonight, I think.
It was last night.
Oh, last night?
Last night.
Oh,
yeah.
word,
I provided sound for one of those
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, it was awesome.
when
It was so much fun.
Pete was playing, and
I got there and
who else?
uh,
This was a couple months ago.
Roger,
Roger, and
John Power was probably there.
John.
and
Sideshow,
why am I forgetting other homie's name?
Dub Tarts.
He might have been there. I don't remember that.
He's usually
No. Plays house all the
Bradley?
time. Bradley was there.
He wasn't there this time. I don't know.
That was a fun night. It was just that particular night happened to be tough for me just because I had a lot to do, and I wasn't able to like
enjoy it
as much because I kind of had some stress on the back of my head about like I had to finish a lot of stuff. But I want to go back to one of those. It was very fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Cool. And there was a lot of people who I knew that I didn't know would be there. That it was kind of fun to run into them.
I connected with some really great people that I've never met before, and yeah, but like the social anxiety of like pulling up to someone's house and like I don't know these people and there's a lot of people there, you know, and like one of my exes was there, and it was just like I just showed up kind of by myself and walked in, and I was like trying to find like in the dark like people I recognized, and like I didn't know anyone until I like saw Pete and like
you know the
but
meme
it's like oh my god.
you know the meme or just the general like stereotype of like you go to a party and you only know one person, so you hang with that person the entire time.
You're like
That's
please.
me. I will do that. I absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Like when we went to, I don't know if I should say it on air, but we went to the HQ show that one time. There was very few people there. It was me and you. I knew the people playing, obviously, but I knew a couple of people, but it was mainly just you that I was like close with.
Yeah.
So I just hung out with you the whole time because I was like, I don't really.
No, same. I was on the exact same boat. It was like you and Miguel and whoever.
Yeah.
I think this year has been really healing though for me because like now I'll get in my car and drive to a different place in the country, get like a place to stay by myself. I'll go out and see what the town has to offer. I'll like talk to people who work at bars and like cafes and shit and be like, what do you like around here? What are you doing later? Do you have a group of friends? Like, let's show me like what there is around here. And like, I want to experience life. So I'm cutting down the roadblocks or the boundaries that block me from experiencing a full like life. And being socially anxious was definitely something that this year I've turned around a lot.
Have you ever done sales?
No.
No.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah, Guitar Center.
Okay. That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, a little bit.
Did you learn anything? Any takeaways in general, just like with interacting with people from that job?
Well, usually, like if they're communicating with you, they want something.
Yeah.
So you just like, I've learned how to figure out what people are looking for,
Right.
by communicating with them. It's like,
Well, that's just a good basis for a salesman in general, is actually finding out what they want and not
Right.
not trying to sell them some bullshit.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like if someone came in and they're like, well, I want an acoustic guitar. It's like, well, I could sell you a Martin for like $4,000, but why do you want the guitar? Like what's the situation? And it's like, usually it's like, oh, well, my daughter is 7, it's her birthday and she wants to see if she likes guitar. It's like, I'm going to sell you a $99 Epiphone acoustic or something.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sell you a Martin
Right.
for your daughter who's probably not going to play it. She's probably like going to hurt her fingers. She's going to get bored, or she's going to love it. And then you buy a nice guitar when she's ready. You know, she learns what she needs to learn.
Mhm.
But like it's like usually about just asking. You're forced to communicate with this person,
Right.
to find out what they need.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's helped me in my friendships and relationships, like having jobs like that, or like waiting tables, or like delivering food and stuff. It's like you really have to like communicate with people. Like, what do you want? What are you looking for? Like, you literally have to like. That has like broken down a lot of my social anxiety too, like having jobs like that.
Completely agree and relate, because I had similar experience. That's why I asked the question, because something that definitely helped me develop socially, because I used to be really anxious to talk to anybody on the phone who I didn't know. Talking to strangers on the phone in like a professional capacity, like as part of work, always made me anxious, because I didn't want to say something stupid that like put my job on the line, or made the place look bad or whatever, put me in trouble or something.
Right.
Or I don't know, I always had anxiety about talking on the phone with strangers, and also like cold open talking to people like at the bar or a business owner or whatever. But what got me over that is 2 jobs. I did insurance sales for like a couple of years, where I was forced to talk on the phone. So that got me over that really quickly, because that was the job, was on the phone talking to strangers. But what was a little bit of peace of mind was the fact, what you just said, at least in my case, they're calling me because they need something.
Yeah.
So I already have them in my pocket to a degree, because I already know
You just have to figure it out.
there's a thing they are calling for.
Yeah.
It's not just a cold, like
They have a problem or
Right.
something they like need help with, or
so that helped me with the phone call aspect. I got over that. Now I don't really have issues with that. But then later on, and I did not make a single dime with this job, but it was a very good learning experience. Was I tried to go independent and do Aflac for a while, for a short while, like a little over a month. I made 0 money because I'll get into why in a minute. But part of that job was I was my own business.
yeah.
I didn't have customers calling in for anything. I had to go out and find clients.
Oh yeah.
So I had
That's how they get you.
I had to walk into small businesses and strike up conversation with owners and managers and stuff. And
I'm sure that didn't go well a lot of the time.
it went
Not as bad as you think.
not as bad as you would think. The worst thing that ever happened was people just being dismissive because they don't really want to talk to a sales guy right now. They're busy.
That's fair.
Especially at like smaller businesses where the owners are really involved.
Yeah.
Like for example, probably the only bad experience that I had is really mild. It's really not that bad. I'm sure other people have had bad experiences, but the worst that I had was a bike shop that I went into. The owner was like actually like hands-on, like doing stuff. And I don't know what he was doing, but when I went in and talked, he gave me the time of day to listen to me, but he was kind of like half listening because he was like looking at a clipboard and like walking around doing stuff. I don't know if it was like inventory or taking account of like repair. I don't know. He was doing something important and was kind of barely listening to me and was not really interested in what I was doing and whatever. And so he's like dismissive. That's honestly the worst that I ever had. I never had anybody like swearing me out, cussing me out, telling me to get out or anything bad. It was mostly just like, no, we're not interested. And I was like, okay, I'll just move on. But that just the getting comfortable going in and the real life equivalent of cold calling people
Yeah.
definitely gave me that confidence of like I can go in and just talk to somebody if I need
totally.
to, because I used to not be able to do that.
I mean, like, I don't know. I just think that like it's really not so scary at the end of the day. Now that I've put myself in a situation where like I am kind of self-managing myself, I have to like communicate with people all over the fucking place all the time. Like if I don't do it, I don't get booked. I don't. So like it makes it to where when you're out somewhere just having a good night or whatever, like if I'm like at a bar or something and there's someone who's wearing a band tee, I'd be like, oh, I saw them last year, blah 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 blah, that's cool, I love your shirt. And like just like right away, maybe I just made a friend. Maybe this person like owns a venue. Maybe this person has friends who like play in a band, and maybe I can somehow benefit. You always benefit from knowing people. I mean, like,
Absolutely.
and like not.
They
like,
say it's not about what you know, it's about who you know.
yeah, it's not in a sleazy way. It's not like I need
It's
to
just
gain
fact.
more people so that I get more stuff. It's more just like your life is plentiful and like full and alive when you're
Monkey
connected
together strong.
Yeah,
Monkey together strong.
monkey together strong.
Insane.
Yeah, when you have the collection of, when you connect with people more, you have a more valuable life.
We have a lot more resources to your disposal, not just in a like
Emotional resources,
Yeah,
like
it's not-
spiritual
exactly.
resources, like
Mhm.
I don't mean just in a physical
resources,
way, but in a exactly what you just said.
different mentalities,
Yeah.
different approaches. You see someone who's like, people meet me and they're like, this guy's literally just fucking DJing and producing music and paying his bills. And they're like, shit, I've always kind of wanted to like do carpentry or whatever. And like, maybe I should try it.
Mhm.
It's like, you know, more people, you get like this new perspective from them.
Absolutely.
And you can like actually apply it and like, oh, well, this hasn't been working, but I saw this person like out in Colorado who was like giving vocal lessons out of her house or something. I don't know. Like, and then you're like, shit, I didn't even think that was a thing until I saw it. So the more people you meet, the more interesting, I don't know, just people are interesting. And you can really like, life is whatever the fuck you want it to be.
Well, also just interacting with other people causes you, like, kind of forces you to become a little bit more well-rounded yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And understand yourself through your interactions with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I've noticed like traveling a lot.
Oh,
Recently.
big time. I'm sure.
When I travel, I think about like who I want to see when I get back home. I'm like, I think of like, do I want to like, when I get home, I'm going to be tired. Like, who do I need to catch up with when I'm back? And I realize like who my like real people are when I'm gone,
Yeah.
you know? And I end up
Absolutely.
like becoming closer with them when I come back. So it's kind of cool. It gives you perspective to even like put things aside for a while and come back to them, like I did with my music career for a few years when I was I actually like struggled with anorexia. I don't know if I told you, but
Huh.
back from the age of like 22, 23 until 27.
How old are you now?
29 September.
Okay.
September 19th. Basically,
This might end up coming out around that time.
really?
Yeah,
All right,
so
cool.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday, me. But yeah, basically I like starved myself to like absolute like death for years. I had like a mental break. I was in a really bad like 4-year relationship. Things ended really strangely while I was sick and like in the hospital a lot. I had like pulmonary edema. I had like fluid in my lungs. My organs were failing.
Wow.
I was a fraction of my build at the moment. I couldn't walk anymore. Bones, like veins, bruising under my eyes and stuff, like sick, really sick.
Sheesh.
I lost my 20s to like illness pretty much.
Mm.
So I forgot why I brought this up. There's a reason. Why did I bring it up? Help me. Send help.
What were we talking about right
Too
before
vulnerable.
That's a great question. I was getting immersed in the story.
that? I was getting
So I'll
immersed
just like
too.
continue with it, I
Yeah,
guess.
just continue.
Whatever.
The point will come back.
Yeah. So I had to basically check into a treatment center in 2022. I lived there for 7 months. They took my phone away from me. Like I had no contact with anyone. It was crazy. They like watch you go to the bathroom.
I also worked at one of those type of
Really?
places for a little while, and my friend Gage
So
currently
insane.
works at one.
Really?
Gage, who's been a previous recurring member on the podcast, actually,
Oh,
a
that's
cast
cool.
member. He's worked at a couple of different of those types of facilities.
Yeah.
And I worked there as a cook for a little while.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I went to VMR in West Palm Beach, and it honestly
Okay.
like saved my life. Like it completely turned everything around. I didn't know what was wrong with me, and I had a lot of food intolerances, and I was scared to eat physical food. I was drinking like an Ensure a day,
Wow.
and that was it. Like that's what I lived off of.
Jesus.
And they would put me on like feeding tubes and IVs and stuff, but they like pretty much like did blood work, all my like vitals and labs and stuff, and made sure that they fed me enough, and they fed me a variety of things so that they could reintroduce my body to food again. There's a long
What was
painful
that
process.
like? The trying to reintegrate into normal eating patterns, like
Agonizing.
yeah.
The worst discomfort, the toughest thing I've ever had to do in my entire life and may ever have to do is recover from anorexia, for sure.
Now, what
Really?
was
Yeah,
worse,
Interesting.
the physical aspect or the
Everything.
psychological, emotional
Emotional.
aspect?
There's so many different things that happen when you refeed your body after starving for so long. Your organs are dying, right? So like your body shuts down functions, reproductive function, sweat shuts down, everything shuts down. Your like organs don't repair as quickly. Your liver doesn't flush things out as well. Your digestive tract stops working. So I had like what's it called? Gastroparesis. It's like paralysis of your stomach. It just like doesn't empty. So you like throw up what you eat. So you physically can't eat at a certain
Your
point.
body just stops
Your body
processing.
stops working. And then like your hair starts falling out.
Ooh.
Your teeth start like, you start losing like enamel and stuff. And like your skin starts changing. You get like psoriasis and like weird like rashes and stuff. It's as soon as you start eating, everything wakes up and is like, all right, so everything is damaged. We have to repair it all. So in order to repair it all, it requires energy. So if you want to like maintain or gain weight, which is the goal, like to refeed your body and like what do they call it?
Like bulking.
No, it's not bulking. It's weight restoring.
Oh,
It's like restoring
yeah.
to a healthy weight. It's like for your body. And it kicks on and you have to eat like 5 times the normal amount that you normally do because your body's literally using energy to repair itself internally. So you're sweating, your body is like trying to reject food. Like people have seizures, people have heart like failure when they start refeeding. Your ankles, your face, your jaw swells up. Like your body is like, this is foreign, it's not good, it's like poison. And you literally have to like reverse the damage. And it is like 24 hours a day of like agonizing suffering. And it lasts what feels like, it's like maybe 2 months that it took for me to like kind of start to feel like my body was starting to catch up. And then it was another like 2 years before I fully like felt somewhat normal. I still don't feel normal, but
what do you define as normal? What is like? Do you have a
you just like
a
where you're just
goal that you're trying to achieve? Where you're like, this is where I feel comfortable again.
I'm out somewhere. I'm I play a show and I'm like setting up and I'm like, oh man, I'm hungry. You guys hungry? Let's get some food. And I don't think about it. We go get food and I go back and play my show. Like I
So
just
being
wanna-
able to just eat and not have to worry.
being
about
able
it.
to just not, food is not a thing that we should be thinking about that hard. Like
Gotcha.
we shouldn't be, it really should be like, oh shit, I'm hungry. I'm going to stop at a gas station to get something. It's not like, oh, I'm just not going to eat because it's too much stress. Or so I just want a healthy mindset where like I just honor the moment that if I'm hungry, I want to eat something. If I'm not, I don't have to eat like right now, but I should if I need, if I feel like I need to, I should. And there's no reason not to.
Mhm.
So like when I get to a place where it's not such a conflict in my head to like eat, I'll feel like normal. Cause like right now, it's like I eat and I think about treatment and I eat and I think about like it's just like it's still
still in the back of your mind a little
yeah.
bit.
well, it's in the forefront still.
Okay.
It needs to fade
Mhm.
into the
It's like a
back.
fade to the, but still in the front of your mind.
It's still in the
That's it.
front of my mind.
Interesting.
So like, I go out on dates like to get dinner and stuff and I'm eating in front of this person that I'm attracted to and I'm like, well, I'm not really fully healed from this because it's very uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
like you being uncomfortable eating in front of people.
Yeah.
Even.
So it's like that's been a thing since like middle school.
I see.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, I've always had like issues with eating. And it's also very easy to just like get overwhelmed and overstimulated and just like choose not to eat.
Yeah, I gotta say that's a really tough situation to have growing up in an Italian household in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah, it
they
was
will feed
really-
the fuck out of you.
My parents used to get like, my mom used to actually like, we used to fight. Like she used to yell at me because I was like not eating. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, this is like, I don't want to not eat. I just like, I can't like make myself do it for some reason. Like it became such a fear of mine at one point. Yeah, so I had to take a big fat break from my music career, like at least a year where I didn't do anything. And I lost so much progress. I lost so much like of my hard work. But to be in this position right now where like I eat well, I train my body, I like exercise, I stay like hydrated. I try to get enough sleep. I'm not great at it, but like I'm full. Like I feel like strong. Like my body is strong and like I feel capable of things, if I want to move something, I have the strength and I'm young and strong and like that's the energy I want in my life. And now that I have this like newfound like strength that I didn't have throughout my 20s, I'm excited. My 30s are going to be fun. I'm like traveling. I have the energy to do it. And I'm writing really cool music because like my brain is functioning on a higher plane now that it has more energy.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I was going to bring this conversation is how has that affected like the quality or the sound of your music, if at all?
I think it's made me more detail orientated. Like I have time to execute the idea as opposed to being like, oh, that would be cool. But like, then I would have to set up a bus and then I would have to like set up an automation clip. And then I would have to like, and I'm going through my head, like, but I'm just so tired. I don't
All the
feel like
reasons it can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But instead now it's like, oh, that would sound cool. And I'm already doing it. Like I'm on my computer, like hotkeys and stuff.
Nice.
And it's like, it's the motivation, like the energy and the motivation behind it. Also, like if friends are like, hey, let's go to the beach today. I know you didn't have any plans. I'm like, sick, I'll be there. I hop in my car
Awesome.
and I go because like there's just a different energy when you're like nourished as opposed to when you're not. Like,
Yeah.
So that's been a huge battle for me and overcoming that. Now I'm excited things very rapidly have been presenting themselves to me as like reward for like my hard work. I feel like self-work. If you work on yourself in any way for any period of time, you get rewarded for it every time.
Very true.
Very
Very true.
Every time.
Mhm.
Like every time. So I think being single is actually like crucial to me right now.
I'm curious.
Big felt.
What I don't mean like nitty gritty details, but have you always been a person that's having a relationship is like important to you, or are you?
It's always been important, but I've never been good at it.
Okay.
So like,
Because I'm the exact opposite, where like
you prefer not.
I've dated very few people in my life, and I also almost prefer to be single. Like I don't go looking for relationships very rarely.
I don't think I'm
So I've always been a little curious. Like
looking.
I've always been kind of intrigued by the type of person that
Likes to be with people.
yeah, that is in relationships more regularly.
I don't.
guess.
So it's like hard. It's hard for me to like pinpoint exactly how I feel about it, but it's more so like I like the feeling of connecting with someone. I want to feel connected with someone because it feels nice, but I don't connect with just anyone, and it's really difficult for me to feel that way with someone. Like it has to be like a true connection.
Mm-hmm.
I'll date someone if we have that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I'm not looking for it. I'm not like looking for it. It's just something that like I'm open to.
But you're open to it.
And
Okay.
like if I'm around someone I think they're cute, I'll let them know. Or like if they think I'm cute and like want to hang out with me, I'll hang out with them
yeah.
to see like what happens. I don't know, like go on a date or something or two. Who knows? But I think I'm definitely more open to it than like, for instance, like you were saying, like you are. But now that I've been through a few kind of not so great situations, I like see the value in like my own space, which is like really nice. Like to go to bed in my own room, lay in my bed, and just know that like everything's gonna be all right, like by myself. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
like, I'll wake up in the
affording
morning-
yourself the time to just be.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah.
I'm scrolling through shit posts on Instagram. I got like the regular show on or some shit, and I'm just like got my little blue lights on, and I'm just like in my bed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's all right. Like I know like I talk about my last relationship a lot because like that shit really messed with me. But I feel so like safe now. I felt so unsafe. I was always like in fight or flight in that relationship. There's always like I was expecting something to happen. I was expecting her to bail on me, her to like fall short or not like be able to carry up her end or whatever, or she's like talking to someone else, I was going to lose her interest. It's like, nah, not for me. I would rather, like I said, just like lay down in my bed, get like high and like get cozy and just like watch a cartoon, and like life is happy and light. So anything that makes it not that way is not for me.
Right.
That's kind of how I feel. So that relationship just like presented itself over time. It was just like my friends are like, "Oh, you're like a version of yourself I've never seen before. You're like never happy anymore. You're like not you're like you're just not happy. You're always stressed out. You're always worried about her. You're always worried. Like this is bad." So I became a different person.
I relate to what you're saying, but in a slightly different way.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like the handful of relationships that I've been in, I was in a mindset where I just felt like I needed to be with somebody, and I was changing who I was to fit that person more. And so I didn't ever really feel like I wasn't ever feeling like I could be in my natural state with that person.
Yeah.
I always had
hard.
to put on something to accommodate what they expected, rather than finding someone who just
That's the tough
because like it's
part.
one thing to like it's one thing, and it's a positive thing to like learn and grow with a person, but when they're like a completely different, like I don't know, completely different I don't know.
Genre of person.
They're a completely different genre of person. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I can't pretend anymore to be someone who I'm not just to fit
Yeah.
someone else's expectations just because I at that moment felt like I needed to be with somebody. That's been my experience, and it took me
I've had that
mistakes.
experience too.
It took
few
me making
times.
some mistakes with relationships and mishandling them and also it took a lot of that to figure out to me that I like have to just be myself and not try to change for somebody, or at least not like a relationship that's like only had for like a month. You know what I mean? If it's something that's over years, of course things are going to change, but you get what I mean. That was always my issue. And then I came to the point where like I really wanted to just focus on developing myself further before putting myself out there to try to attract somebody.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the state that I'm in now, where I'm really just focusing on building myself both in a like career wise, but also character wise.
Yeah.
Before I even try to entertain giving somebody else my time.
Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely giving away too much of my time for sure at the moment.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, no. This
Giving
is
us your time.
it actually worked out because I'm getting booked for stuff all over the place last minute, like a week before,
Really?
2 weeks before. Yeah. So it's like my schedule.
Summer's
filled up.
ending, so I mean,
Yeah.
The schedule filled up, man,
Mhm.
out of nowhere, and I just like. I'm glad you were reminding me because I totally was gonna forget if you didn't remind me. But thank you.
you told me to remind
yeah.
you. I'm like, I bet
Yeah, definitely. And it
I
like
can do that.
as many times as you have to remind me. But because I played 2 gigs last night. I played a 3-hour set at Island Route and PSL, and then I went to Jupiter to play that like 1 to 2:30. I played.
Wow,
So that's a new one?
late.
The one St. Lucie West
Octagon.
one?
Oh no, it's Port St. Lucie Boulevard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
First one,
it's
gotcha.
been there for a while.
Yeah.
Wait, what place
Oh,
is this
I've been.
again?
Island Route.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I heard that they were opening up a new one.
They are St. Lucie West. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is gonna be pretty close to here.
I think. Sorry, the more I thought about it, I had a tiny bit of self-reflection there about relationships again that I wanted to add. I think another personal flaw of mine, something that I'm worried about. I've talked to you about this before, actually, when I was on a substance-induced super. Because of my lack of mature experiences with relationships, like in my adult life, because most of my relationships have been like middle and high school. My lack of adult experiences with relationships, I almost feel that I have a lot to learn in having a relationship with somebody, a romantic relationship. And that's like
the beauty of it.
That's the one thing that like right now I still want to be single, but that's my fear that I'll get old or get older, and then because of my lack of experience, mishandle it even worse or in another different way.
Yeah.
Or, have a hard
So-
time connecting with another person in that way because I just haven't for so long.
I feel like
Does that make sense? Almost like missing the boat.
The moment is so fucking strong. It's
Yeah.
the answer to everything. The answer
Yeah.
to everything is this current moment in time. If there is someone who you are spending your time with, who you just seem to understand each other, and like you were to be like, oh, but I'm working on myself, and like were to like not give it a try, and maybe it is like something that you could really benefit, learn, and grow and change from. Because sometimes like you don't meet your soulmate, you meet someone who helps you develop as a human on
That's facts.
accident.
That's facts.
Yeah, like
Well, that's how I look
they,
at.
they like put you through a trial and
That-
they make you suffer.
That's
And then
exactly how I
you
look at.
become a better person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I haven't applied that recently, but I completely
have.
agree with that because that's how I feel coming out of the last couple relationships that I had.
Yeah,
Well, one was a relationship, the other one was a fling that I had hopes of becoming a relationship, but very rapidly revealed to me was not going to be.
I've been there. We've
But
all been there.
I had a couple of dates with somebody and we had a thing, and then very like stereotypical situation of like being led on kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's how it felt, at least. And then very like heavily dumped on me that like, yeah, I'm not trying to be in a relationship. But I'm like, oh, okay. There goes all that like emotion that I built up around you.
Yeah.
So, that's I guess that's my fear, is like getting
led on or
too attached to somebody too quickly.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can do that. I think I have a pretty good wall up. It's healthy. It's a healthy wall. And it's like let's see how you react to the first difficult event in my life that you experience while we're talking. Based on that interaction, how you handle that, I'll either choose to give you another chance or not, but usually not. And it's like I needed you and you weren't there for me. You'll never be my partner. You know what I mean?
It's hard to like come back from that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
To me, it's like, oh, there was an opportunity for you to reassure me and be there for me, and you chose not to.
Yeah.
So that to me is like, okay, so this will never work. You know, because like if you need me, I'll be there for you. You know, that's what relationships are for.
Mhm.
That's what it's supposed to be. So if it's not that, it's not that. You know, like it just is what it is. And like, but it's always that the way they handle that first difficult thing that shows me everything I need to know about someone.
First difficult thing between two of you, or like that you're going
Personal event between us, whatever it is, like the first uncomfortable thing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so this is like, if they react like, whoa, like this is too much, then it's like, okay, obviously you're looking for someone cool and fun, and that, you know, I'm a human. So
Yeah.
like you might think I'm cool. I might like fit your like fetish or whatever, you know, like I look
Yeah.
like the type of guy that you might think is cool and successful, whatever. I don't know what the fuck you're thinking, but if you don't have the emotional depth to handle negative emotions from other people, you don't belong in a relationship.
The nuances of emotional complexity.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't handle it, then don't.
Yeah.
You know, so I see it right away, and I'm like, okay, you're just too emotionally immature to like handle a true relationship. You're not looking for a relationship. You just want to hang out with someone.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
call it what
Which
it
is also valid.
Yeah, call it
if
what it
it's-
is.
If it is what it is from the start.
Yep, call it.
And that's what threw me off
Yeah, totally.
in that situation. Because like, and that was a learning experience for me too. Because like, it kind of taught me that, you know, I had been out of like the dating market for quite a hot minute. And that situation kind of taught me like, okay, or like I already kind of knew in the back of my head, but just that experience reminded me viscerally, like, oh, there are people that are just aren't looking for something serious
Mhm.
and are going to use people just to get their fun, you know, whatever that fun is in that moment,
Yep.
whether it's like hanging out, having a good time somewhere, doing drugs or having sex or shows, whatever the case is, like finding a partner, you're just not really even a partner, but just a person
Mhm.
that you can extract some kind of social value from, I guess, versus somebody you can actually be with.
Yeah, totally. So I think I want to feel like if someone is making an effort and I can like really sense it, is like what I'm looking for, you know? Because I'm always a person who will like, for my friends, for my family, for the people I care about, girlfriend, whatever, will always be like, it's 3 a.m. you need a ride because your car broke down. Like, I'm getting out of bed. Like, I'm in your corner. Like, so I really need to be sure of the person before I like commit that kind of like relationship, because I don't want to like be giving that and then, you know, this not be like reciprocated.
Yeah, one-sided. When a relationship is one-sided, it's not really a relationship anymore. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's tough. My My little brother actually came to me recently with some advice because he kind of got into a similar situation where he was where he fell for a girl. They his first girlfriend. They hooked up, and then he just like after a certain point realized like he wasn't he wasn't feeling it as much as he was initially, and B, he would not be able to maintain the relationship and his grades.
Yeah.
And so he was just like, what do I do? How do I, where's the eject button?
Yeah.
And I had to tell him, like, just, first of all, people are going to be hurt. You did this. This is part of the, I had to give him like the whole spiel and let him know like how to, and I feel like I didn't do what I could. They worked out and she wasn't upset as far as I know. So, or not too upset anyway. But
sounds like the best outcome that could have happened.
yeah, at least but like, good on him at least for more so than most people, more so than me, even in a lot of cases, for having the foresight to recognize that something was not going to work out. To
recognize that there was
immediately.
A problem. Right.
Yeah, and to just be like, because it's like the fact that he had the foresight and the wisdom to recognize that, but then it was like, okay, now how do I communicate that? Was like really interesting to me. But yeah, it's just one of those universal things. Yeah, you always got to be careful. Yeah, because it is such like a huge. Once you're in, it's like to something like that. Getting out of it is like way more of it.
Way more of
an
a
issue.
Yeah. People's. That's man. That right there, getting out of it, was an issue for me with one of my relationships, and it was because I did a very bad job of figuring out the correct way to end things. And this was the relationship that I was talking about, I was alluding to, where I've like kind of put on a caricature of myself to fit what I felt like this person wanted me to be, but it wasn't really me. I recognized that a couple months, or like a good way. The relationship was like 3 months total, so it wasn't like a significant portion of my life or anything.
I get that.
But it was still a lesson learned. But like a piece, maybe halfway into it, I really realized like this isn't viable long term, or viable for much longer at all. And I was my issue was that I don't want to seem like a saint here or anything like that. I'm not perfect, but I recognized that this person had like an emotional reliance on me in a sense. And they were going through a lot with family and whatnot. Their family was very strict. And so I felt like if I were to like break up at this moment, it would just come crashing down way harder on them than it would on me. And I didn't really want to screw things up in that way at that moment for that person. Mm-hmm. But I ended up making it way worse, because instead of organically breaking up and removing myself from the relationship, I started browsing the market a little early. AKA, now I never followed through. I never cheated, but I did set the groundwork for cheating in a sense, because I was like browsing Tinder.
Yeah.
At the same time as being in this relationship.
I would definitely. All right. So you're exclusive?
Huh?
You were exclusive?
Yeah.
I would deem that as cheating.
And I would view
that as cheating.
I completely accept that.
Yeah. I'm not like trying to like.
No,
I'm not trying to
fine,
like.
because
I would definitely.
I'm the bad
consider
guy
that.
in this story, and that's why I'm saying it was a learning experience. I'm not trying to excuse anything I did.
She was like not like giving you what you needed. She was
had nothing to do with
what was it like? Why? Did you, like,
we were
feel
just
that
not
way?
the same. We just were not compatible in a lot of.
Did
ways.
you feel that way too?
Emotional? I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so that's fucked up, man. You should have you got to have a talk. But you learn.
We fought a lot over dumb shit that was like, okay, I'll give you a small example, and this might shed some light on just like the type of person.
Yeah.
She was like basically dieting, right? She was in the middle of like trying to like diet, and she was complaining, like we were just casually like texting about her day. And she said something about like having a headache or something like that, something very small. And I just I felt was very casual, made a comment about like, have you make sure to drink water, or have you been drinking water today? Like a question or something like that. And then she throws this huge fit at me
Like, oh, I
Trying
think
to-
that water is gonna fix everything.
No, she was accusing me of doubting her ability to stick to a diet and a regimen. And I'm like, that's not at all what's going on. I just said, I was trying to encourage her to like stay up on your water or whatever. I wasn't even trying to be like an overbearing, like,
You're supporting her.
I was trying to be
goals or
supportive.
whatever.
Right.
With her goal.
But
yeah.
me just saying something about water sparked this whole thing about she feels like I don't have like any kind of faith in her. And I'm like,
so
this is not at all what's going on.
Classic problem in our generation of just like not being able to validate ourselves and like
I feel like
not being ready and still like wanting to date. It's like not healthy.
But I also feel like a lot of people view everything as an attack.
Or like it's your job to like
Yeah.
to make sure that their emotional state is normal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a bit of an issue, I think, because we were at different points in our lives in like a maturity sense and a development sense, because we were both in high school, but she was a grade lower than me and I had just graduated. I'd also just moved out. I had my entire life had been raised to be a very like independent, moving forward type of person. So I moved out like as soon as I turned 18, and I finished school early because I was like done. Like I really wanted to be done with it. I was already working a job. Like I was like moving on with my life, but she was the very opposite, where her parents were very like overbearing on her and like had a lot of very specific restrictions and treated her like a kid still. So she had a very kind of childish mentality, not in like a, I don't mean that in an insulting way, but just in an immature view on life.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were just not, at that time, just not compatible. She also was very, very, and this is a whole like political side of it that I don't want to get into, but she was a extremely deep down the rabbit hole, like leftist, word police, social justice, identity politics type of person. And I am so not that. Like I'm sensitive to people's people, but I'm just not the ways she was, I guess. And we had a lot of very differing views on things. She was very like I don't know. I don't want to get too much deeper into this person, but it was just, we were just not compatible in a lot of ways. But I was still a teen. I was horny. I wanted to be in a relationship. I wanted that, like, because all my friends were dating somebody. I was like one of the only people that wasn't. So I just felt left out in a way. And I felt like being in a relationship was like necessary.
Yeah.
And so I rushed into the first person who like called me cute or whatever, because my friend like hooked us up. And I started flirting, and I started like learning the kind of person they were. And so started presenting what I felt like they wanted. And that's how I fell into that trap of like, I became my tolerance of projecting a character diminished very quickly.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't keep doing that. And so the way I screwed it up was, I was browsing Tinder and stuff, and I ended up messaging somebody who was her friend. I didn't know that. Did not know that they knew each other. And so I messaged this person, and I like leave it at that. I didn't get a response right away or anything. I just move on. And the next morning I get a call from her screaming at me and stuff. And I'm like, shit, I fucked up. I fucked up really bad. Because in my head, like for me on my side, I emotionally had already like checked out of wanting to be in this relationship.
Yeah.
But I completely recognized that where I fucked up was not giving her the respect of like telling her that I'm done with this. So that was a growth experience for me. And so I completely accept the calling that cheating, because it kind of would have been.
I would say so. I mean, I've definitely
my intention, of course, again, this doesn't excuse it, this doesn't fix it, but my intention was basically line up something new and then break up with her and then move on. Mm-hmm. But it didn't work out that way.
Understandable. But still.
Yeah, still bad.
Yeah.
And I recognize it was bad.
It happens, but yeah, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
For real.
And then I got cosmic payback because I hooked up with some people like after that, like one-off flings and stuff. And one of those people, I embarrassed myself so hard with them. It was I'm sorry to go off on a whole tangent about this.
Okay.
I think I've told this story on the podcast before. So people who've heard it before, I'm sorry. But very embarrassing experience. I was 18. This lady was 26, which is that's not that old at all. It's not a huge age gap whatsoever. But for me, at the age of 18, it felt like a big age gap.
Mhm.
Plus, she was like fresh out of a marriage. She was divorced. And she was my friend's manager at work. And my friend linked us up, and we had a one-time hookup. And it was very awkward because I am not like a suave person per se. I was very like, what do you say? Like, I was very aware of the fact that this person was just in a marriage. So they have I assumed they had certain like expectations of just how this should go. You know what I mean? Two things. One, I was not prepared for the level of bush this lady had. Which not to like
A little rumble in the jungle, huh?
yeah, it was a little
Personal preferences, I guess.
like I'm not it's everybody's got their thing and I'm not dissing that, but it's not for me. But I would have expected a little bit of cleanup if you're expecting a guest, you know what I mean? Just a little bit. I wasn't prepared for that. And then on top of that, I came in like 30 seconds.
Damn.
So I mean, like the whole thing was just like a bummer.
Yeah. Hey, better get those out of the way early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
No.
it was a learning experience.
Mhm. Straight up.
In a lot of ways. And I made it extra awkward because when I got there, she was the movie Jaws had just come on the TV. She was just playing like HBO or something, right, in the background, and Jaws came on. And I had never seen Jaws. So we just sit in her bed, and in my head I'm just like, yeah, we're watching Jaws. Because I had never actually watched the whole thing. So we sit there and watch the whole movie, and then Jaws 2 comes on. And I'm
And
like,
you're like, damn, this is a sequel? All right.
so no, at that point I was like, okay, I can watch this later. I got the first one. Let's get some action going. And so then I made a move. And
Now that we've completed our Jaws watching experience, we
Yeah.
can move on to, less enriching experiences. Yeah.
can I put my balls in your jaws? No, but that was a very embarrassing experience. But it was also, I look back on it now, like, and laugh at it because it was funny.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
I feel like I moved on from that within like a couple of weeks of it happening. Like at first I was like, I don't want to tell anybody about this ever. And I'm embarrassed to tell my friend who hooked us up that this will happen or that this happened. But after like a week or two, I was like, nah, this is just a funny story now.
Fair
But
enough.
it's whatever.
Yeah, a week or two is a good turnaround time.
Yeah. I try to live life that way. That's like, whatever happens, just happens. It's part of the story now. It's lore. It's part of the,
Yeah.
it's part of the canon. But moving on from the tangent about my relationship shit. Where do we go from here?
That's a great question. I don't know. I'm sure shit not talking about my relationship history on this podcast. It got me fucked up.
You don't have any funny
Nope.
coming too fast stories?
Nope. Well, yes, but no. They're not. I mean, they're not funny. It's happened. They
They're not
weren't
funny.
necessarily funny.
They're
but-
tragic.
Yeah. I mean, it
No,
was
just kidding.
yeah, but no, I'm good. Yeah,
You don't wanna get
no,
into
I'm
it.
good on that.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'll keep that close to the chest.
Take you to the grave.
Yeah,
Nah, I mean, I bear my heart out for everyone to see. Did I say that phrase right? I bear
Yeah.
my.
you wear your heart on your sleeve.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Wear my heart on my sleeve. I don't know how it pumps blood from there, but
I mean, you're just bearing it, so you can kind of like move it.
just move
with
it.
the sleeve.
Just
Yeah, this is a completely yeah. In any event, yeah.
back to you.
What should I say?
Good question.
You say you have a lot of shows coming up.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is the outlook? What's the
Thank you for providing a
Sofa,
topic.
what's the
I needed that.
Sofasound tour 2024 look like?
Sofasound Tour 2024. I actually so I played an event in Atlanta. I played at the Skydeck Lounge in Broadway, off of Broadway in Nashville. I played in Delray with the band. I don't know where. I don't really have a tour or anything set up, or
Right,
a
well,
date
series
set up,
of dates.
I know.
just,
I was
like,
just saying because you had like a
miscellaneous
bunch of shows
shows
lined up.
they'll
Yeah.
like come up, and it'll be like 2 or 3 within like a month of each other, and then I'll like go somewhere and come back. I'll like write music while I'm out there for a little bit.
So you don't even really have anything planned all that far out
Not
in the
right
future
now.
right now.
Not
Okay.
right now, but I am
Fair enough.
talking with like when I was out in Nashville, I met with the label manager for The Orchard. His name's Gabriel. He was at the show and he came up to me
Shout
after
out
my
Gabriel.
set. Shout out Gabriel. The Orchard is a sub label of Sony Records.
Okay.
So I actually released an album with them back in the day, and he came up to me not knowing that I had like worked with them, and like he's like, "What are you doing tomorrow? Do you want to like meet up at the office or whatever?" And I did, and we talked and stuff, and he's putting me in touch with like the major booking agencies in the country, like AEG Entertainment,
Hell yeah.
Full Circle Entertainment. He's trying to get me booked for a festival called Deep Tropics out in Nashville next year, which is like a big electronic festival. There's like a few big venues out there. He's reaching out to venues. He's actually like soft managing me. He's like kind of just like reaching out to venues and like
Yeah, this
different,
seems like it. Yeah.
taking a lot of time to do that. He seems to really think that like I could be successful. So I imagine I'll book a lot of shows coming up soon.
That's really awesome.
That's awesome.
Definitely, yeah. I'm excited, dude.
Yeah. Exactly the kind of support any good artist needs.
For real. Do you what's like the level of busy that you want to be with music? Both in terms of writing and producing and performing. Like what's the level of how busy do you want to be? How many shows do you want to be doing?
365 a year. No, I'm just kidding. I'd like to play like 200 a year,
Okay.
you know?
It's a good number.
Yeah, I feel like 200.
That's 2 a week, right?
No, that's more like
52 weeks in a year.
It'd be like 4 a week.
that would be like 4 a week.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
It's
4 a week.
majority of the year.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you'd be like playing shows majority of the year, like
Okay.
2/3 of the year at least, like, or almost 2/3, kind of. Right? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Somewhat. And that would be cool because then you have like a vacation. You pretty much work.
Mhm.
You have like a little. I'm sure it's exhausting, but that's kind of where I want to be. Because I have the most fun when I'm traveling. Oh my god, burping. But
It's okay. Let it out.
can you burp me?
Yes. There you go.
All right, I'm good now. Thank you.
I'm gonna like bass boost and reverb the burp.
I don't know what else. I feel like
I feel like I
What
put
else
a
is there
damper
to-
on the mood by talking about my crap
it's
relationship.
just like I don't really have much to say about myself.
Well, one thing that I've always been fascinated about with you in particular, because it's always something that I, a musician, have been very fascinated in, is making music for video games.
Yeah,
I know
me
we've
too.
touched base on this before, but
Yeah.
like I know because I know the League of Legends thing before. That was really sick.
I did not know any of that. That's
Yeah,
really cool.
the Black Desert Online one is really cool because
Yeah,
I played
that
Black
was
Desert
fun.
for a few months, so that's really sick to hear you did some work on that. This Lego game. Do you have any other like video game gigs lined up, or like what's your interest in actually like doing that kind of work, and what's your experience been with that industry?
Very interested in doing that kind of work. So I guess I got lucky. League of Legends reached out to me. Black Desert reached out to me. They emailed me. They
That's
found my
crazy.
contact information.
It's really dope.
So League of Legends, there was a department that they started. Really, it's a record label, Riot Games Music, that they started brand new. It didn't exist. And then they started it and they did a compilation album called Sessions.
Mhm.
And the first one was for Vi, one of their like
Oh,
characters.
so that was like a while back then.
Yeah. And they reached out to me. They emailed me and they're like, yeah, we reached out to like 30 of our favorite artists. Like, we want you to be part of our record label. And I literally played a game of League with them, like the A&R team.
Hmm.
And we were like just gaming and like talking about like the contract. while we were playing League of Legends. It was so cool.
That is tight.
And
Are you an avid gamer or?
I don't game anymore because I do so many different things now. Like I have so many different projects that I'm working on. Like as soon as I leave here, I have to go learn a song for the show on Friday with my band. Like I have to go home and like learn a song. And I'm supposed to do graphic design work for a friend. I'm just like so scattered that I don't game as much as I used to. Cause it's like if I'm on my computer, I've got shit I gotta finish.
Right.
You know, but I like mobile games because you could just kind of like whip them out and just like get your brain dead fix, you know?
True.
What am I playing right now?
I have a hard time getting into mobile games other than arcadey stuff like pool. Like I play 8-ball pool, and that's kind of about it. Pac-Man 256.
And you haven't gone beyond the old Bluetooth days. The old
Bluetooth days?
Yeah, like the first gen Bluetooth with the keyboard. That's where they'd have those pool games on there because it'd have the little trackball that you could play with.
Oh, well, no, back in the day on those kind of phones, I didn't really play games at all. Really, I didn't like play mobile games other than like Snake or something.
Yeah.
Until
Snake,
smartphones came around. This is when I started playing that. But I also was never just. I think I don't like the medium of playing a game on a phone very much.
Yeah.
You know,
I just don't. What I don't understand about mobile games is like, why aren't there any good ones?
there's some good ones.
Like why? But why?
It depends on what you're looking for, I guess.
But like, why aren't there more? Because I feel like
Because they're phones, they have to run on phones.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I would feel like the bar for entry for the mobile phone market would be so much lower, which has
It is.
Yeah, well, yeah, and you get a lot of bullshit because of that. But like, nobody's gone out of their way to make like the last game that I can think of, like an RPG, for example, the last like fully fleshed out quality front to back RPG that I felt was actually worth the damn was like Xenonia.
I don't know what that is.
Exactly, and it was delisted from the App Store like a decade ago.
The two games that come to mind that are big mobile games that I think, again, it might not be for you. They're definitely not for me, but they are successful and a lot of people really like them.
Yeah.
Are like Genshin Impact and like COD Mobile. Those are two like full-fledged games that are made for mobile that work really well, that people really enjoy. It's not for me. I recognize it's not for me, but they are, for all intents and purposes, good full games.
Yeah,
I just stuck to
And cash
arcadey
grabs.
stuff, and what?
and huge cash grabs.
Yeah,
Which is
and
another
that's
issue with
also
mobile games
that's also
too.
true.
But I understand that. I kind of understand. Get your bag, whatever. But it does like affect the quality of a lot of
It
these
does.
things for sure.
Yeah,
Sucks. But yeah,
yeah. I found myself in the same place as you, where only like this year, like there was like maybe 2 years, at least 1 year straight, but maybe spilling over more into like a year and a half, 2 years, where I almost didn't touch gaming almost at all
Yeah.
because I was just too busy. And only like at the beginning of this year did I start playing some stuff again, like affording myself that downtime to
Yeah.
unwind my brain a little bit and just shoot people, in a way that's legal
In a
and
legal way.
yeah. like
I
playing
get
like
that,
Halo and Apex Legends and
Yeah.
And-
that's all fun.
stuff like that. A little bit of COD here and there. Minecraft for sure.
there you go.
Minecraft's
That's
fun.
classic.
Open ended.
Mhm.
I need to play more like the really highly acclaimed single player games. Like I need to get through some of the Soulsborne stuff.
Oh, I hate those kinds of games.
Really?
Literally,
I mean,
yeah.
not for anything. You literally did kind of have to experience it IRL. It seems with your anorexia experience. What you went through is what people like to go on forums and pretend they went through
Yeah.
having to beat Elden Ring for real. Yeah, so
But back to the game music stuff. Do you want to do more of that kind of work?
I do always.
Yeah. Do you feel that the making game music scratches like a different itch?
No, because I write the same way.
Okay.
I write emotionally. I try to connect emotionally with what I'm making. And like when I write music for a game, so far it's been creative freedom. It's been like really nice. They've been like,
That's cool.
write what you would make. We like your music, so make what you would make.
That's what I appreciate about. I appreciate that that it worked out that way for you, that they approach it that way, where they're not just hiring you and telling you what to make. They're leaving it open for you to make what you want to make. That's cool. I like that.
Well,
Having the
that's
creative
kind
freedom.
of the benefit with being an artist on the internet is that you can be so like hyper focused, and if you put yourself out there enough, somebody is going to need somebody, or going to, like what you do, is going to need somebody to do what you do, or want somebody to do what you do, and be willing to pay you for it.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of getting yourself out there. For real.
Yeah, totally.
I have a follow-up question to that, and that's because I think a lot of like smaller artists would want to know, like, how did you get yourself into a position to even be recognized by these people to get these kind of jobs in the first place?
God,
How do you not get ignored outright?
Yeah, how do you just not get ignored and not beyond not getting ignored, being reached out to?
So it's like one of those things where it's like, how bad do you really want these things?
Yeah.
If you aren't capable of spending more than one summer working towards your goal, it's not for you. It won't happen, probably. Because this is like, these are events and things that have been happening, these like major life events and like life-changing things. Like I wrote a song that has 11 million streams on Spotify. Like I have a plaque hanging on my wall. It's like
It's fucking sick.
an original song, but this stuff didn't happen for years, 6 or 7 years of grinding before like something slightly notable happened. Not even
A lot of L's before the dub.
Yeah. Or a lot of nothing, just a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
100 streams on every song, not even like under 100 streams. And then like one day, like one of them got like 8 million. It's like, I don't know, just like after time, I guess you get what you work for.
Can
I started on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of remixes, like house remixes. I did like future beats. I would reach out to other artists that I liked. I would like repost trade with people. I would hit up labels and say like, hey, can you like write about my song? Or I'd hit up artist friends who I'm interested in working with and try to write music with them. And like, because they posted the song, their audience would check me out and listen to my music, and then I would gain some followers or fans. I built a very, very, very strong fan base on SoundCloud. Like people were commenting on every song. They were reposting my songs, sharing their like to their like pages and stuff. And labels and artists just started following me outside of SoundCloud and stuff. And I gained opportunities to work with labels like Chill Hop because of SoundCloud. They're like a lo-fi label that's really big in Amsterdam. Bitbird, like from SoundCloud. And then you work with these labels and they have resources and get you like playlisted on Spotify and stuff. And then people are just aware of you because you're like homepage on SoundCloud or Spotify or Apple Music. And then like, so-and-so from League of Legends is like, yo, I know that artist now and I wonder if I could contact him. And then they find you. But it's like, I don't know if it's Big Sean who says like work 10 years to be an overnight success. It took 10 years to be an overnight success or whatever. That's kind of what it's like.
Yeah,
it was like 16 years before like anything happened for me.
Just be loud enough, long enough until the right person hears you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With your first song that like really, really popped off, do you think it was purely the interactions and the kind of fan base you had built, or do you think there was something inherent to that song that helped like really grab people's attention?
Say it again.
With us, the first song that you said that like really exploded.
Yeah.
Do you think it was purely the fan base and the interactions and things that led up to that success, or was there something special about the song?
I think there's like whenever a song, whenever a dong, Magnum dong, whenever a song,
Clip that.
Whenever a song does well, I
Sample
feel
that.
like sorry. Whenever a song does well, I feel like there was some magic. There was some magic in there. It was like a true like it deserves it. You know what I mean? Like I feel connected with that. But also there's a layer of like I capitalized on just happening to really enjoy a genre that was like becoming viral, like lo-fi beats like became massive, and I was writing very unique like electronic-y experimental lo-fi. I wasn't making like the normal like sleepy jazzy lo-fi beats. I was making my own kind of lo-fi, and people were like wait, this is different. So then like a couple of my songs got like really big. You can hear
you kind of tickled the algorithm at the right way at the right time.
Yeah. And like working with the right label, collabing with, you know, big friends of mine. Like my friend Derek goes by Cloud Chord. He's like blowing up online for doing like surf rock covers of like Metallica songs.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And like, yeah, he's just like killing it. Every time he posts a video, it's getting like shared all over the place. And he's blown up on Instagram, but we're friends from Chill Hop. The Thunder.
Yeah, my yawn summoned the thunder. Sorry.
For real. Yeah, both.
No, that's really cool. So you just got hella people in hella places.
If it
What I mean
goes
by
back,
that, it's just you got a lot of connections, and that
yeah, it
kind
goes
of
back to
organically
the-
helped elevate things.
it goes back to the like being like genuine with people. Like you just like, I would be in Brooklyn to see like a friend of mine DJ or whatever, and like there'd be like 5 or 6 other artists. I talked to all of them. I talked to like the promoter who threw the event. I'd hang out with them, not like asking for anything, just like it was nice to meet them.
Yeah.
We had like a cool like experience. We connected, and we stay in touch on Instagram or Facebook. And then like, oh, dude, I'm playing a show in fucking West Palm Beach and I need someone to open for me. And then it's like, oh shit, I'll open for you. And then like, because we stayed in touch, like opportunities come up naturally. And that's always served me well. Like having like solid friends who are always kind of like willing to shout me out and stuff, in other states and stuff.
Absolutely. It's like
You know?
what I was saying before. Like that's the kind of homies that you need, like as a self-respecting musician, are the ones that are like who see your value and like actually want to like tell people about you.
Yeah.
And shout you out and like really spread the word. It's like the most valuable like kind of relationship you can have.
Have you always been like a traveler, like traveling around a lot?
No.
No.
After, I want to say I was like 23 or 24 when that started to like become a thing. I started to like really connect with this like lone wolf mentality, like this like it's me in this world and I have to fend for myself. And like I'm experiencing this like my own little experience in this body in my head. And like
You're in main character mode.
Kinda, but not like not in like a narcissistic way, just in a like I'm the only one who can make this shit good for me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm gonna make this shit good. You know, like I'm tired of like dumbing it down for people around me so that they don't get like jealous or nervous that like I'm not living the normal way that people live. Like in my whole life I've been worried about like making my family uncomfortable, making my friends uncomfortable, like, oh, like you really don't have a job, or like potential partners and stuff. And it's like I make my money, I pay my bills, like don't doubt me, like I know what I'm doing, like I'm so locked in, you have no idea, like I'll make it work no matter what, and like I'll be happier than you, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's okay, like maybe it I don't know, I just like I know for a fact that like I'm gonna handle myself, so people have their views on like lifestyle and things like that and don't understand it, but I'm so locked in, so focused, like
The vast majority of people are not risk takers.
Yeah.
totally not.
So anything
Totally.
outside the norm is confusing,
Yeah.
Or
difficult,
horrifying.
or horrifying, or just outright difficult.
That's what helps you conquer fear, is like facing it.
Mhm.
It's like doing the things that like seem crazy and realizing like oh shit, I just fucked my shit up. That was bad. I'm never doing that again. Or, oh wow, that really benefited me. I feel great. This is good for me. I now know where I want to be. I now know what I want to do from trying it. Or trying and seeing I don't want something. Now I know what I do want. But if you never do that, you just live in your little comfortable box, your routine and stuff.
So when you first started traveling, what was like, how did that kick off?
So the first show I ever played was
It was performance related?
yeah,
Okay.
was at the Masquerade in Atlanta, which
Okay.
is where Nirvana used to play.
Cool.
It's like this cool classic, like old brick wall venue. Like there's like a load in like hallway that has like lights on the ceiling. It's like creepy, like brick wall walk. You carry your gear up in this hallway. And it's like such a cool venue, dude. But I got hit up by my friend Robbie from Night Swim Radio. And he was out in Philadelphia at the time. And he's like, he'd been following me online on SoundCloud for a little bit. And I like released music on his label. I've been on his radio show. Actually, before I knew how to DJ, I did a guest mix that he like ghost mixed for me. I like literally didn't know how to mix, and he like did it for me and like played all of my original music and like put it in a set and was like featuring Sofasound, and like didn't tell anyone that he mixed it or whatever.
So
Nice.
producing your own stuff came before
Yeah.
mixing?
Yeah, definitely. And he's like, dude, you should play this show that I'm booking in Atlanta. And I was like, how do I perform? And he's like, usually people will DJ. And I'm like, what do I need to DJ? And he's like, well, you just probably need a controller and a laptop and blah, blah, blah. He like told me a few things, and like, I bought gear. I think I spent like $800 on a credit card. And then I didn't know how to use it. I didn't know how to DJ. I didn't know like the rules or anything. So I made like an hour-long set, all original, which is like not normal, especially if you're like a newer artist. Like you don't play all original music if you're DJing. Like you,
I give you a lot of respect for doing that, though. That's cool.
no, it's crazy because like I thought that that's what I had to do. I didn't do it as like, it wasn't a statement. I wasn't making a statement. I wasn't like trying to prove a point.
But to other people, it definitely I'm sure it came off like a
came up
statement.
to me. They were like, bro, respect. They were like, you played an all original set. That was dope, man.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, what? I was like, I wasn't supposed to. I was like, oh shit.
So, yeah.
And like, it was just like a good feeling. But I bought the equipment a month before. I downloaded my set. I practiced. I learned within a month. And then I drove 8 hours to go play at this venue. My first time being on a stage in front of people. And it was like 200 or 300 people there, maybe.
How did that feel, getting in front of the crowd?
Scary.
Yeah.
Very scary. But yeah, I got that show opportunity, and I was like, yeah, I'll be there. I'll do it. Like, just no idea of how I would DJ or what I was going to perform or how I was going to perform. I just said yes. And like, it was a month later and I did it.
That's awesome.
That's like how I live my life, though.
That's really cool.
It's crazy.
I'm happy to hear that.
It's crazy, and it's nerve wracking.
Yeah.
Stress inducing.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I put myself in really uncomfortable situations, but I always overcome. Like I always make it work.
So
And I benefit from it. So
that first ever set, DJing in front of those people, going to the crowd, did you have like a mental like plan of like, what if I screw up? How do I fix it? How do I recover? How do I entertain this crowd?
I had a
What
couple of
goes
drinks.
wrong?
I had a couple of drinks, and I just said, you know what? However this unfolds, it'll just happen
Yeah.
the way that it will. And like I've had shows, like I played a show in LA where my laptop broke on the first fucking song. I had
Oh,
to
boy.
pack my stuff up and walk through the crowd like clutching my gear. and I like cried on the sidewalk, literally like a big failure. And then I got booked to go back out. Same promoter, my friend Josh from Good Society. He booked me a little redemption show in LA, and it went so good, dude.
That's awesome.
So much fun. Yeah. At Catch One. It was a club out there. It's like a 2-story like venue. Kind of cool. But
So from, you said the first place was in Atlanta?
yeah.
And then moving on from there, like, kind of guide me through like traveling becoming a more regular thing for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Guide
So
me through
then,
that adventure.
so then the next one I did was with Robbie again. Nice swim, because that one went well. So then he had another event in Brooklyn at this like little vegan like bakery called Trans Picos. It's like a cool little like outdoor courtyard venue. Really fun. I mean, like really cute place.
Nice.
So we played that one, and then I got hit up by my friend Josh to play that show. It went poorly, the first one, and then he booked me again. I came back out, and then I got hit up to write an album in Colorado with an artist named Alicia, who is like one of my good friends. While I was there, I met Maddie O'Neill, who is a really big artist right now, and we wrote our song "Free Yourself," which was like off of her Mind Over Matter EP. It was the first single off of her EP, and that was like honestly a really big deal for me because she's an incredible artist. I look up to her so much, and she's killing it. So like I have a lot of respect for her. It's really cool to like work on music with her. But it all happened from that trip to Colorado. I was writing with Alicia, and we went to a house party at Maddie's house. And I met a few big artists out there. There's a dude, Bormley, who's half of Break Science. She introduced me to Manic Focus, who's another really big artist. I think they're engaged, if not married already, but to a guitarist, Jay Albatross. He's in the Motet, which is like a big jam band in Colorado. They play like the Red Rocks and stuff.
Oh,
they're like a really big band. So I like went to this like little bonfire and like made some. I didn't know who any of them were. I didn't know any of their music at first until they like introduced me. We like jammed in the studio room, and we like connected and just became friends. So I ended up working on music with her because of that. Recently. And then I went to Austin to work on music with Bronze Whale. But what else? Travel wise, Nashville recently.
What was?
I've been all over.
It sounds like it. You've been all over the fucking place. What was like? Did that make you nervous to like? I don't know, travel, leave home a lot at all?
No, I actually like leaving home because when I'm home, I don't tend to be putting myself in beneficial situations when I'm home as much as when I'm like in a new environment and I'm like searching for what I should be doing while I'm there. Cause like I only have a limited amount of time. So what should I be doing while I'm here? And then I like am more inquisitive about stuff as opposed to like when I'm home, I'm like, I kind of know the area. I kind of know certain people are going to be,
zone.
Yeah, people are probably going to go hang out at the bar later. Like I know that I could go there if I want, maybe. It's like, I'm not like, oh, you know, that place is like really weird and different and I haven't been there. It looks like a place that I would like. Let me try to go there. And then like you bump into like the bartender who happens to like run a publishing company. I don't know. Like that happens all the time in other places where you meet like, oh, I'm in a band too. Or I record a rapper at my house. I have a studio at home. Or like, oh, I just saw San Holo on tour. He was great. You like him? And then like you end up like meeting people with like similar. But I just don't put myself in these situations when I'm home because it's like.
Do you feel like it's because it's a mindset thing, or do you feel like you're just already you already know everybody, so you don't feel like it's a beneficial use of your time, or like you're already ingrained because it's home.
I think what it really is for me is like exerting all of that energy doing elsewhere, and then I come home and it's like I'm home. I can like relax now.
I got you.
You know? But it's like
Less expectation and less need for it.
Yeah. Anywhere I
sense.
go, I'll feel like that.
Okay.
If I live somewhere, eventually I'm gonna feel like I'm home, I'm tired, I'm just gonna chill.
Yeah.
But like then I'll go somewhere else and then have all this like energy to network and stuff. Yeah. So I mean, I have been. Where else did I go? I mean, I'm going to Virginia this month, so I played in like Philadelphia once, DC once. I don't know. I'm just trying to like stay busy with it, but it happens sporadically. It's not like I'm gonna book 7 dates in a row. Like a lot of people do that, but I haven't been lucky like that. Like where venues hit me back enough, you know, to make a run or something. They're usually pretty far apart, like traveling and stuff. But it's cool. I mean, it's still like fun to get opportunities like that too.
Definitely, and reaching like completely different crowds, different places, you know, planting your seed in all these different places to spread the Sofasound vibe far and wide. Yeah.
It's the only way. It's the only way.
Well, now seems like as good a time since you already spoiled it for everybody. A good 2.5 hours ago.
Yeah.
We can finally get into the closing segment of our podcast.
We can. Before we do that, is there any other, I don't know, poignant things that you want to discuss or get out there?
No, I guess not. I mean, I guess like I'm in a phase right now where I have so much music,
Yeah.
like 200 or 300 unreleased songs done,
Jesus.
ready to go.
God.
I don't have any direction. I don't know where I'm going to like attack next. So this,
do you want direction, or do you want a path, or do you enjoy just kind of being a little all over the place?
well, I could schedule like a shitload of releases and EPs and stuff and like just have content coming out all the time, but nothing comes out because I'm like, I don't even know what to put out first. Like I make something new and I'm like, I really love this. I want to put this out first. But then there's like 2 or 3 other ones that I made like previous weeks that are like just as good that I said the same thing about. You know what I mean?
I mean,
So
why
it's
not
like-
just put them out as you finish them? Are you waiting for them to be put out for like specific projects, or
Sometimes I'll write like 2 or 3 songs in a week. So like, and I'll finish them. I'll sit for 12 to 16 hours and I'll like literally just like in my screen, like until it's done. My eyes are bleeding. I'm like,
Gotta tweak that snare a little
yeah,
more.
yeah. I'll sit there and literally like no life it until it's done. And I'll do that like 2 or 3 times a week. So then it's like to sit down and set up the like data and like distribute it and make sure that like, you know, the artwork looks good. And make a canvas for Spotify to make like a full like artistic thing out of it is like really difficult to me. It's not difficult. It's just something I want to be intentional about, and I don't want to just like toss a bunch of shit out.
Sounds like you just don't want to be half-assed about
Yeah,
a release.
I really want to be very specific about it because like I want to create an environment with my song, like an aesthetic. So like while the song is playing, I want to create like little visualizer clips that like make me feel like the song. You know, I want to do this like what would you call it? Like magazine collage art, like punk collage art style, like animation. where it's just like ripped like magazines and stuff
Dude.
and like pictures of like the beach.
You know
and,
who
like,
I envision immediately? Malice.
Yeah. Straight
I
up.
know,
Mhm.
dude. That's why I was like looking at his stuff, and I'm like, oh
That
my
what
God,
you're
that
discussing
looks
sounds
so-
like
literally,
something up
I
his
was-
alley.
Yep.
Does he do visual like
I don't think he's
animated
done
stuff, or-
animation. I
but
don't think so.
I mean, even still, like that would be so sick. He definitely like.
you should look. You should scroll through his
He
Insta
deserves
more.
to be paid for it for sure.
I
'cause,
commission
that's,
him
like,
100%.
every October. I think that's the 4th piece, that square one right there. I think that's the 4th one that
those
I've made
are
for
going to
him.
be worth something. I feel like
I commission him every October. For
because these are one of a kind.
yes.
Mhm.
So like these are like priceless.
I mean, that one's definitely at least worth 2 cents.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
there's 2 pennies on there for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
There's at least 2 pennies.
So yeah, I'm building my own Malice original collection.
That's awesome.
I
Yeah,
have the other 3 at home, or is it 2 or 3?
he's definitely talented. Like
Yeah, you're balling out on the actual like original canvas works. I just have like the full set of like all of his like self-published like mini zines.
I need
so
more
far.
of those. I have only 2 of them.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, true fan. That's crazy.
Shut up. I don't see you commissioning him.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm because I'm out here buying his product, bro. What do you want from me?
Fair.
Yeah. Shoot.
Fair.
What if I could afford to?
Me too.
If I didn't spend all my money on his zines, bro.
That's like, I thought you were gonna say on Facebook Marketplace since.
Well, that too. But yeah. But, yeah.
I guess here's an opportunity. Any production or gear related discussion to be had? 'Cause I feel like that's more up your alley than mine.
You, from everything that I've seen and heard you talk about production before, you strike me as an entirely in the box guy, right? Production wise,
what do you mean?
like all it software in the DAW.
Oh yeah, a lot of it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I figured. You use Ableton as well.
I use FL Studio.
All right,
Yeah,
no further discussion to be had. Next topic. I'm just kidding. I mean, but I'm no offense, genuinely. I just don't know anything about FL, straight up. But the only thing I do know about FL is that the people who do use it that I know who use it and use it professionally are extremely prolific with it.
Yeah.
Like he was saying, like it seems to be a common thing that people who use FL can knock out whole songs over the course of like.
There's a reason
A
they
week
got
or
a
two.
whole like speed running community around FL Studio.
Yeah, that's true. Do you feel like that like plays a part in it, or much of a part in it? Just kind of like how streamlined FL is in certain ways.
I think it's just pretty to look at.
That's also valid.
It's like cute looking. It's got color coordination. It's it's got little like animations and silly little visualizers that I like. It's honestly like it's just nostalgic from like when I was younger.
Is that
I
what you
used to mess
started on?
Yeah, FL6
anime
on my
girls
dad's
on their
computer.
tits.
Yeah,
yeah.
come on. And what is it? A chili pepper or is it? I don't even know what it is, but
What, the logo?
yeah,
It's like a mango or
it's a
something.
mango. Yeah,
Pretty-
it's supposed to be a
It
mango.
looks like a Wumpa from Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
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 I thought it was like a
Wumpa
ghost
fruit.
pepper or something.
I always thought it was a mango.
fruit. It would make sense. I just figured it was the fruit.
Well, it's Fruity Loops, so it's,
Yeah, I figured that it was the
mango.
fruit that fruity was meant to represent.
I guess so.
So yeah, the fruit.
I enjoy Logic for the way it looks also. Part of the way, like once I've learned some of the weird stuff about it, I appreciate the visual of it. I
I've
guess.
definitely learned to love Ableton's aesthetics more so the function.
Ableton strikes me as the type of thing that it looks more complicated than it is.
It looks that way because of all the menus that it doesn't make you dive to get access
Because
to
it's
shit.
all
like
displayed.
Logic does. Yeah.
Logic does make
Like Logic
quite
and
a bit of-
Ableton can do like most of the same shit.
Yeah.
Just like Ableton just has it all on the screen at once. Or
Yeah.
so much more of it on the screen at once. As opposed to, or the menus that you do dive are like way smaller and more segmented. So you kind of gotta like know where they are, but they're segmented in ways that make sense.
Well,
So
it-
it's like if you can get over all the screen full of tiny symbols and like, you know, actually know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't know. I think it's nice.
I want to give Ableton a shot just to mess around one of these days.
Yeah.
Do you like oh, here's a question actually. Do you do like since you produce and whatnot, do you do the mixing and in production for like Turbo Kid or for the other projects you do, like all the sound stuff
That's
for
good.
that,
Yeah.
or do you just do that for your own project?
I do. I also engineer for other people.
Okay.
So usually it's like paid gigs and stuff.
Yeah.
Where I engineer for other people, but
Cool.
I spent a long time learning about audio engineering so that I can make my own music sound better,
Yeah.
you know? And I have like pretty decent knowledge on it. There's so much you can learn. There's so many different techniques. There's so many different pieces of software and equipment that you can use to make your sound different than someone else's as an engineer, and like the style of which you like chop things or don't leave them more natural. It's all like a painter, like however you want to do it, you know? So it's cool when someone hires me because that means they like my style, like my creative brain is like something that they can get with.
It's a good feeling when you are part of a project, not just because you're a body who can do a job, but because you offer something unique to it. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Like,
because there's definitely some, I'm sure
you don't usually get to like put your flair on stuff
right
at like work.
Right.
So
I'm sure we've all experienced that gig or that job where it's literally you're only there because you're an extra hand or you're another body, just a cog in the machine.
Can I take a pee break?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I need it.
It's
really
right
bad.
On the left in the hallway.
Bye.
I'm going to do a smooth transition. When he comes back, I'm going to say transition again. And then that's where I make the transition cut. Movie magic.
Well, One Piece spoilers.
Oh boy.
Damn.
That'll get cut out.
You just got spoiled. Toy ninjas just come down and like do one of those at the side of your neck. But to your YouTube channel. They do this to the side of your YouTube channel's neck. Just yeah.
Speaking of that, Nicole and I've been doing Whatnot.
How's that been going?
Not a lot. We have been getting some sales and stuff, not like any high numbers or like high volume, but it's picking up and we're getting followers, and the community there is actually seems pretty cool so far.
Yeah, I believe it.
And there's like so far, it's a good sign to me when on our second stream, we have both new people and returning people from the first stream.
Mm-hmm.
And
from the initial TikTok stream?
People, actually, I meant from the first Whatnot stream.
Oh.
We've had new people that subscribed to us or followed, whatever the word is. And people who returned to see another stream, along with new people who are coming in to check it out, get compliments in the stream about Nicole's energy as a host. I got compliments about the sound because I actually instead of like having this audio play in the background from a speaker, I actually run it through the mixer.
Yeah, I'm
Sounds
sure
good.
you do. Yeah, I'm sure it fucking does sound great.
So it does.
Fucking retards.
You gotta get that.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to Matt and I'm be like, yo, so I heard that you hear that Nicole's streaming on Whatnot. Yeah, she's getting a lot of compliments on her sound and the audio quality. You should check out her stream sometime. Yeah,
I needed to ask you.
I actually work directly with the guy who does his audio, and he's doing what I was trying to do for you. You fucking retard. You silver spoon sucking mongoloid. I hate this man so much.
No, it's okay.
Are we still recording?
Yes.
Damn.
This will get cut anyways. I'm gonna cut this until he comes back.
Thankfully. Yeah.
I just don't want to start or stop this.
Fuck you, Matt.
But
just kidding. It's not that deep.
yeah. But what was I gonna say? Fuck. It's actually a pretty fun stream. We're doing another one on Wednesday.
Word.
Pretty good. Pretty cool so far. We're experimenting with like what time slots seem to work best. The one we did one, the most recent one was last night from 11:30 to 1. That was a little rough, but once it caught some steam, then it started going, but it was a little rough. The first one last week was also pretty decent. I'm looking forward to the next one, hopefully being even better. It's a fun time. Oh, what I needed to ask you actually is if you, since you have experience with the whole shipping process, have you experienced with TikTok with when they give you the shipping label to print? Have you experienced it like printing weird? Or like, because, okay, let me tell you what I'm experiencing with Whatnot. When we go to print a shipping label, the form, like the PDF that it brings up, it has the label sideways on the page. And when I open the menu to hit print, there's no way to fix it. So like the printer is 4x6, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to make the label fit that perfectly. It comes out sideways.
Yeah, there's a way you can format. There's a little drop down when you go to print it.
Can you show me how? Because, well, not right now. Not right after.
Oh, yeah.
I'll pull up the page.
No, you're right. Fair enough.
Because I can't figure that out. Without her printer here, I'm not sure if that menu will even come up. But
Fair enough. Yeah.
I'll show you what I'm talking about. And I had to figure out a ghetto workaround for it. I had to basically take a screenshot of the page and then print the screenshot because then it would rotate it. And there were options for like rotating and formatting, but it would not come out right. And so far, we haven't been able to figure it out.
Tell Nicole it'll be a $50 consultation fee, and I got you.
Come on. You're consulting me. How about that? Do me a solid. In fact, her and Matt are on. And wait, Matt or Ryan? Matt. Her and Matt are on pretty decent terms right now, and she wanted me to tell you that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
If I ask for help, that he's already agreed to like provide her help, like in advice and stuff. So there's not like a conflict or NDA breaking.
Well, even if there
anything.
was, the non-competes are nullified anyway.
Well, I just wanted you to have the peace of mind that we're not divulging secrets or anything, conversations that we can't be having or anything like
Fair
that.
enough. No, I
Because
understand.
he knows that what we're doing and that she's
the non-disclosure agreement is a separate thing from the non-compete.
right.
So like I can't divulge business pertinent information, but I am allowed to work with other businesses in the same industry as of literally the beginning of this month.
Yeah.
Which he is legally necessitated to inform me and everybody at the company by law and hasn't yet.
Yeah.
And I am holding that very firmly in my back pocket in case he decides to try some fuck shit, and I'm not bringing it up.
Welcome back.
I'm back.
How was your pee?
It was good.
Please cut
Fantastic. How was your pee?
Here's the other half of that transition. Here we are.
We're back.
I'm back.
I'm going to do a clever cut where the video transitions on the word transition. That's some clever movie magic.
Oh shit, that's pretty good.
Really beautiful.
What did we leave off on? I was asking you about you were talking about learning or no, doing audio engineering as like gig work basically, like for other people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was asking you about how much of that do you do for your own projects, like in the bands and in the duo projects?
So all of it,
All of it?
pretty much all of it. Yeah. So
Are you like the go-to guy with
I'm-
all your peeps?
around the area? I'm like usually the audio engineer, producer guy that people will like. If I have a lot of friends who are doing music, they'll usually like ask me, "Yo, can you master this?" or "Yo, can you mix this down for me?" Like Aiden will ask me sometimes, "Yo, you should mix this one down for me," or yeah, it's just like I just happen to be like I have a studio set up at home, so like yeah, I end up like doing a lot more work for friends and stuff.
Do you enjoy the tech side of it too, or would you prefer to just focus on the artistic side?
Well, it is the artistic side. So like
I mean,
getting the song
yes.
to sound a specific way is very artistic.
Absolutely.
Like to get it to sound comparable to like another song that you like on speakers, to be like, well, if I play these two songs back to back, you can't tell that one was like made at home, is like an art form. It's like to get that like full, like textural, like thick sound that is not like missing out on like impact or like dynamic or emotion. It requires a lot of feeling. Like you mix with your ears, you mix with your literal ears. Like you there's all these like rules and stuff visually and like numbers and things, but like at the end of the day, like what you're hearing, the input going into your ear is your discretion. You're using your taste to say what sounds good or bad. And like sometimes you break a rule because you think it will sound better, and it does sound better to you.
Yeah.
Then you break a rule. You make your discretion, your choice artistically to make these things, you know, like to make them happen. To make it sound a specific way. It adds like character and personality to it. I feel like it's what makes you a better engineer, is like when you can like give an artistic approach to it too. And not just like, oh, let me add a bunch of distortion and a limiter and like make it sound broken, which is like cool, but like there's so much more than just that kind of rule breaking. Like there's so much that you can do with music.
Well, you're tapping exactly on a philosophy that I have, that I've talked about this so many times on recent podcasts, that it's something I learned in writing and poetry in school, and in video production. Actually, I learned it specifically in video production first, about learning the rules so that you know how to break them effectively. Learning the fundamentals about something so that you know how to,
because then you can know,
twist them to your will.
Because then you can know to break them to what end.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you enjoy you really enjoy the engineering side also.
Yeah, I do. I think I have a love-hate with it, because if I'm involved in the project, I have so much passion about mixing it and engineering it. You know what I mean? Like I have direct investment in the song. So I want it to sound as good as possible, and I'll spend countless hours mixing and mastering a song that I'm involved in. But when it's someone else's song, it's difficult, because like if I just don't like the song that much, it's like not my style, that I don't really listen to it as much, and they're paying me, I have to like tap into, if I were making this kind of music,
how would I
want it to sound, or like how would it,
you can't read people's minds, so like you're working for a client, it's like
difficult sometimes to like the song comes out like sounding too much like me then.
Yeah.
So that's like a problem I run into with engineering other people's stuff, because it's like, okay, well, I gave them the like Sofasound like flair on it, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's probably not what they're looking for every time. So that's like the problem with artistic work, is like, you know, your client base are going to be like people who like respect your work. This is probably really quiet. I'm probably like
that's okay.
Leaning away. All right.
You should come a little closer, but it's okay.
Yeah. All right.
Fix it in post.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm running out of stuff to say.
That's okay. Because we're going to guide you through our next segment here.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
You want to introduce it.
Ghost stories.
Ghost
You got 'em?
stories. So
There you go.
I don't have.
So to clarify, not just ghost stories, but do you have experiences regarding anything of the paranormal, supernatural, or anything that you could vaguely lump into that category?
Cryptids, extraterrestrials.
Visions of your fate.
Yeah.
Crazy dreams that foretold something about your
Encounters with
future.
gnolls and or leprechauns.
Yes.
I would say there's a few like very, very unexplainable things that could be interpreted as many different things, personally. Okay. So like,
I'm all ears.
The first one is kind of
and
like
I have headphones on, so I can hear you even extra better.
The first thing
Put the gain way up.
Oh, that works.
Was like a ghost encounter, maybe. But when I was younger, I think I might have been like 13 or 14. I was home alone, and we have cats, and sometimes they'll like fuck with shit, and like they used to like flush a toilet on accident, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm very familiar with cats like being hyperactive at night.
Yeah.
Never had one flush a toilet though.
yeah. So I mean, like the like really loose, like we used to have like a loose like handle,
And they'll
on-
paw at it.
and they would hit it and it would flush.
Okay.
But like my dad is like I'm gonna replace the, like, he's like one of those guys. He's like, oh, I changed the flusher on the toilet. Like he just like does random tasks, and will be like, oh, got a new garage door opener installed.
Is he retired?
No, he
Oh,
works
okay.
from home though.
Okay.
But it's like he put this like new flusher on the toilet, and like the only way that you can flush this thing was like to like push your thumb into the side of the toilet and hold it.
Huh?
It's like a button. You have to
Oh,
push
it's a button.
and
Okay.
hold it.
I have a
firmly.
toilet.
Like press into it and hold it, and then it would start to flush and would
Interesting.
flush completely after holding it for a few seconds.
That's very
So you have to,
sophisticated.
Yeah, that
so-
sounds horrible.
no, it's
Yeah.
like so weird. I hate toilets that don't flush when you
I have a
Hold
button.
it.
Yeah,
I have
like
a
touch
I
with
got-
one, but yeah.
I gotta hold the thing. So like
I have a button. I was almost with you because I have a button toilet in the but not my bathroom, but the guest bathroom in my house, where there's two buttons, one for a regular flush and one for an extra flush.
Mhm.
But it's not, you don't got to hold it down for 5 seconds and wait for a beep and leave a message at the tone type shit.
Yeah.
You just hit it. Anyways,
But yeah, so the only way that you can like flush this thing is if you like intentionally like flush it.
yeah.
You gotta literally mean it. You gotta mean it. So I'm in my room. I forget what I was doing. I was like playing like NHL 07 or something, like literally playing like PS2 or some shit. I don't know.
yeah.
It was like PS3 or something. I don't know.
Childhood well spent.
It was just like kid. I was a kid. So I know that the flusher's different. I know that I have cats, you know what I mean? Like I hear them like running around the house and messing with shit, but like then I heard the fucking toilet flush one night. I was by myself home alone and the toilet flushed, and I don't think my feet hit the floor. I think like I floated out of the house. Like I had so much adrenaline that like I like literally just like jumped up, and like I don't think I hit the ground. Like I was like running as fast as I could out of the house. Like I've never been so scared in my life, just because like I had this information. I'm like that there's no fucking way that toilet flushed. I'm like 100% certainty in my mind there's no way that toilet could have flushed on its own. I would have had to have done it, or someone's hanging out in my bathroom, like some guys or some dude just in the
guy living in the attic.
Yeah, he's hanging out behind the curtains in the bath. You know when you go in.
Oh yeah. I
man.
gotta check.
Yeah,
I gotta check.
he's just hanging out in there
Ugh.
apparently. Or so I ran out of the house and I like freaked out, and then I had my uncle come over because he lived down the street, and I was like, "Can you help me look? I feel like someone's in the house." Because like I'm like, oh, there must be a whole fucking person in the house. Because like what, like my cat flushed the toilet? Like what, a ghost flushed the toilet? Maybe, because there was no one there, so maybe it was a
Well,
ghost.
that I believe that is the implication.
Yeah. So
Ghost on the toilet.
ghost on the toilet. Straight up. But so there's that story, which still to this day, like being there was scary as fuck. Saying it out loud doesn't sound very scary, but like being
No,
there,
it's valid to me because that would freak me out too.
I have never been more scared in my life, because I'm
Yeah.
like, someone's in my house, like someone's with me in this house, like by myself, and I'm not by myself. That was a weird feeling. And then this is like, so I got this phoenix tattooed on my shoulder,
Mm.
and this I got when I was really struggling with eating. Before I was diagnosed anorexic, I thought I had an autoimmune disorder, and I thought that I was dying from an illness, an undiagnosed illness that they were missing or something. And I like what I mean, it's like kind of depressing, but I was like really suicidal and like didn't see myself living past 25. I was like, my life is coming to an end quickly. I'm in the hospital every other month. They're, you know, trying to keep my organs from failing. Things are not looking good. And like the last thing that you should do while you're anorexic, I got so many, but you're not supposed to get tattoos because your body's not like really healing because you're not feeding it. And it's really like not good for you. But I was like, I'm going to fucking die unless I do something, unless I fucking take matters into my hands and change my life, turn my life around. I will die at 25. I won't even have a chance to live. I'm just going to lose my life. So I like got this Phoenix tattooed. I'm like, I don't know what I need to do, but I'm going to be reborn from this. And I'm going to like have this like second phase to my life. And I spiritually just like connected with that. And I was like, I felt comfort. I got it. I was like, put it as big as you can on my right arm, like just right on my shoulder. I just want it to be as big as possible. Like, and it was one of those things where like, I don't think I would have made it through that without, that was like a very divine, like promise, like I would say supernatural promise that I made with myself. Like that this was like, I'm not giving up the fight. It was like hang myself or get a Phoenix tattooed and tell myself who I am and how I want to be, and to like fill into that positive view of my life as opposed to like a negative one.
The spirit overcoming the flesh.
Yeah. It was definitely like my soul, like it was my soul kind of showing me that my life was worth fighting for. And I feel like that was a thought that was implanted into my head and not my own thought. Because I was super depressed and negative, and like I would never have imagined like, I'm gonna turn my life around and I'm gonna be healthy and I'm gonna go to therapy and I'm gonna like do whatever it takes to make sure that I like can pursue my dreams again and be healthy. Never. I would have never said anything like that. So I got this, like spent my last money on it, and it like this tattoo means a lot.
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
sick.
cool. Yeah. So that's like, I would say like supernatural, because that's like a level of willpower that, you know,
when people talk about this, a spiritual experience, they often don't touch on like the very visceral spirituality of like just that self-revelation,
self-promise, self-realization. Yeah.
I wanted to comment that to me, that's kind of unique to hear that came from within you rather than something external influencing that.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know.
Well, I guess the situation you're in was sort of external, but the overcoming feeling you had came from within you.
Like I watch TV, I watch movies, I like listen to music, and it's like I see all these people like going on vacation, spending time with the people they love. They're eating, they're drinking, they're like having fun, they're making memories, they're celebrating holidays together. And I'm like, dude, I'm supposed to be doing that. Like that, I'm supposed to be happy. Like everyone else, like we're all supposed to be happy. So like, I'm not gonna fucking accept this life that I like got stuck in. If I can change it, I will. If I don't like it, you know what I mean? And like, that was something that like, this was like, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do it, but it's gonna fucking happen one way or another. Like I'll figure it out and I'll overcome this because like I deserve it. And No one has ever put in that level of effort for me aside from my fucking parents. You know what I mean? They've never given up on me, no matter how much we disagree on stuff. And everyone else outside of myself and my family has let me down one way or another. It's just human. But I don't have to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have to let myself down. And that's like where that's the value is like in self, like care and self-love is like you can be the only person in this world who actually truly cares about you and sees your best interests and like does the right thing. You can be the only person, or there could be no one. You know what I mean? So like I choose to at least have me doing those things to care for myself.
Main character.
Yeah, main character.
And I mean that in a positive way.
Yeah, that is like main character in a good way. But
generally, I like to use main character syndrome in a positive light because I do believe that everybody should be the main character.
There's
of
no
their life.
problem with viewing yourself as the main character of your own life as long as you're not viewing everybody else as NPCs.
As long as you
Right.
recognize
Yeah,
that other
yeah, you
people are
can't
also
devalue-
characters in the story.
Everybody is a
devalue
main
other people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody is a main character in their own arc. And when you consider things in that context, the chaos that we're all generally experiencing makes a lot more sense.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
for real.
definitely.
Everybody's their own main character, so a lot of conflicts will brew.
But yeah, that was a very interesting and unique take
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
film segment. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah,
That was a very inspiring story, genuinely.
I'm really happy that I got to like share that. I feel like, supernatural stuff, it kind of like falls under that umbrella because it's like it came from an area of myself that I had not experienced, like a part of myself I didn't know yet. This true desire for like a future for myself was like a feeling I have not really dabbled with that much. Like I can't wait to get older. So because that means I like lived and like I can experience stuff and be happy and go out and like make experiences that I wasn't going to have to begin with.
What was it? So, sorry if this is like kind of a dark question, but
No,
was it the risk of possibly dying being a real possibility? Is that what sparked this desire to turn things around? Or was it the love of music and wanting to keep doing that?
it's all
Or
of it.
was it
I feel like when things got really dark, like super, super dark, I like just needed something to hold on to. And I just focused on my music. I would like work on like an album and I'd be like, oh, I got to make the artwork. I'd wake up and I'd be like, I got to like finish the outro on the third song. And like, I'd wake up and instead of like thinking about how badly I wanted to like put a bullet between my eyes, I was like focusing on something that made me feel good. And like, it got me through everything, like to focus on it got me through like very difficult times in my life. And but also then like realizing like I wasn't like put here to suffer. I'm not destined to suffer. My destiny is not to suffer. I will not accept that. Like I'm not gonna sit back and accept that. So that was where it all kind of started turning around because I'm like, well, what am I unhappy about? What is it that I don't like? I can't really eat. And I feel disconnected from like my peers and stuff and my family and like dating because this is like holding me back, So what should I do about it? I literally tried everything. I went like to experimental doctors. I traveled for experimental testing and like did everything. Every test that you could have on your stomach, your throat, your esophagus, whatever, I've had like 3 or 4 fucking times over and nothing ever showed up. They were just like, yeah, you're just like having a mental thing. It's like all in your head or whatever. And then I was like,
Sorry.
yeah, I get it.
It's bugging me. Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, it's all in your head, whatever. My family like tried to get me to go to an eating disorder treatment facility. And I was like, I don't have a fucking eating disorder. Stop like assuming that I'm like vain in that like I'm trying to change my body and stuff. Like this is like a real health issue. No one's listening to me. I was frustrated. And then eventually I was like, I've done it my way. I've tried everything I could think of. Like, my parents are suggesting this one thing I have not tried yet, eating disorder treatment. And I'm like, what do I have to lose? Like, I try it, it doesn't work. Like, then I try something else. So it was comforting to know that, like, I could try something, and if it didn't work, I could just try something else. I still had stuff to try.
Yeah.
And that was like keeping me going too. Because I'm like, well, this didn't work, but there's still stuff that I can like look into. And it just happened to be that like re-nourishing my body, like, that was the issue. Mentally, there's years and years and years of work. You know what I mean? It'll be like a long process, but
well, I'm
part of it.
Very, that is an inspiring story. I'm very happy to hear like the progress you've made to overcome that. And that you said earlier that you were pretty happy with, like, you're at a point where you feel strong.
Yeah, I feel strong.
Full.
Yeah.
You feel.
Yeah.
I would put the word confident.
Confident. There's like a spirit in my body. There's like life in my bones. And, I'm a little tired because I'm doing a lot. But
yeah,
like last night I was out till like 5. So I'm like pretty sleepy. But
well, you know what they say? I think the phrase is idle hands are the devil's playground.
Yeah.
Or plaything or whatever the word is.
Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
He works. Yeah, there's different variations of it. Something like that. So it's like, it's good to hear that you're constantly giving yourself things to do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I think a lot of people fall into that trap where they get whatever their situation is. The most common you'll hear is like depression, of course, but whatever the situation is, a lot of people fall into that trap of, I can't do anything, so I won't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got to like get creative with it. Like if something isn't working for you, like if you continue on, you're just going to waste years. So you got to find that like motivation, like change is scary. Change is the number one trigger for relapse and eating disorders. So like new environments, new situations, having to adjust to a new schedule, things like that. Usually it requires too much thought to eat. So people will like relapse. They'll just like stop eating so that they can like try to like alleviate the stress elsewhere. And like it takes away from like their ability to just be healthy. And that is like that's a big thing that I've noticed with like people who drink or people who do drugs. It's like all kind of the same. Anything that makes you feel like not secure, uneasy is like, oh shit, I got to cover this feeling really bad. Like, I don't know how I got to do it, but somehow I got to like make this feeling stop.
Sometimes it's good to just feel that feeling.
Yeah, totally. Like I've actually the past like 2 or 3 days have been like not feeling great. Like emotionally, there's definitely like you just like realize stuff, you just realize stuff about certain like relationships or friends or whatever, and then you're like, it's like a bummer,
Yeah,
but life goes on. You just kind of like handle things as they come up, I guess, but
Exactly.
real.
Yeah,
Take,
real
roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Take things as they come.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Joining us.
I'm sorry if that got existential a few times in there.
That, trust me, it's awesome.
All right, cool.
That's what this podcast is all about.
Nice.
Well, it's about a lot of things, but that affords us the room to be existential.
Mostly
I love
about
that.
ghosts.
and auxiliary cables.
Yes.
And the supernatural existence of the indomitable human spirit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Because I was thinking about that. The natural, because what was happening to you, not to dwell on this too long, because we're wrapping up now, but the natural course for all pack animals like us is to, when we're sick or hurt or dying or fucked up, is to separate from the pack and just go die and not be anybody else's problem.
Yeah.
But we as humans, and you in particular in this moment, had that like supernatural spark that makes us, ultimately separate, where we can like naively or irrationally or otherwise just like think ourselves out of just giving up and dying and overcome whatever bullshit, and that is supernatural as fuck.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, I'm really just gonna like lay down and die, like, and that's like my destiny. That's it. Like,
Unless
I do something
and that
about it.
foresight.
Yeah,
I really admire your like outlook on that, and it's something I've not been through the same shit you've been through.
right.
I've been through my own separate shit,
Totally.
but a philosophy that I've come to like develop about it is that, and I apply this to career, to life, to whatever. It's that I've said it to you a bunch of times, is that I won't fail because I refuse to.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly
And
how I feel.
because little ups and downs are not failures, they're just course corrections and learning learning experiences that lead
Guidance.
you. Yeah, exactly.
I
and
love
so-
that, dude.
And so 'cause I'm a little stubborn.
Luffy can do it, I can do it.
If Naruto can do it, I can do it too.
If insert anime protagonist here can do it, I can too.
Believe it.
Believe it.
Oh man. Thank you again. This is awesome.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Of course.
Please, in this last few minutes or last couple of minutes, whatever, plug everything you want to plug. Give dates for whatever you have.
Give us the
everything.
verbal EPK.
Yeah. Shout out everything you want to shout out or plug that's coming up or in the works or anything, whatever.
Follow me on Instagram at official Sofasound. That's probably my favorite social media platform. That's what I use the most.
Me too.
I'm on my stories up in that bitch every day because it's fun to take pictures. And also, if you want less sporadic announcements, more streamlined announcements, that's the place probably. Because right now I'm going to forget stuff or I'm going to say everything I've ever done or nothing. So... But I did drop an EP, the Couch Mammals EP with Bronze Whale.
Hell yeah.
That came out on the same day as my show in Nashville on July 19th. So it's been out for a month, almost a month.
It'll be over a month by the time this comes out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So definitely check that out. That's my most recent work.
And if he says it's okay, then you probably will have heard part of it in the
You
intro.
probably did next month.
Yeah.
And coming up in the outro.
Yeah.
Yes. Next month.
Next
in the outro next month.
As in now.
Next month.
When
month.
you're listening to this.
When you're listening.
Time is weird.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny, like being back here in the past and you guys are in the future like this.
Right. Damn, it's nice to be you guys right now.
Damn.
Damn, after all that shit's going on.
Yo,
I'm living
that
in the
shit that
past.
happened.
I'm on a new wave. I'm in the past.
Yeah, for
that
real.
shit that happened at that place, that was crazy.
Yeah,
Damn.
for real. Couldn't be me.
You guys know everything that's going to happen. I feel like there should be a way for you guys to tell us what we need to know.
You ever seen the movie Deja Vu
No, I haven't.
with what's his name? Shit. What's the guy's name?
Jackie Chan.
No.
Ben Stiller.
Prolific black action actor.
Paul Rudd.
No. Different black man.
Damn. I'm all out.
Fucking.
Denzel Washington.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, thank you.
That's what I was thinking. Like the guy from
Yeah.
Training.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington did a movie called Deja Vu where there's like
Oh, I think I've heard
some
of it.
like crime is committed and they have this weird
On
technology.
a boat? Are they on a boat at one point at the end of the movie? Is there like a
Oh, that I don't remember. I just remember the general concept was basically they had this like crime investigation technology that could let you like recreate something in the past. And then through using it, he kind of discovers that he can actually influence the past by like doing stuff. It's a whole thing. It's called Deja Vu. It was an interesting movie. Look that up. Anyways, anything else?
More announcements. I guess like I'll announce some show dates with the band. So like, oh wait, no, I can't because this is gonna come out in the future.
Just editor plaster the show dates on screen as they are at the time of release of this
At the
video,
time of
right?
release.
I'll hit you up.
All right,
It's about to
okay.
come out. Give me the dates and I'll put them on screen.
Also, yeah, Turbo Kid, the band.
Yeah.
You find us on Spotify and Instagram too as well. We have one song out at this point in time. So if you want to check us out, it's called No Luck. That's our first single.
Hell
And
yeah.
I'm the bassist and the engineer, and I produced and engineered the recording. So, hell yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
Thanks for listening to me yap.
And I will also go ahead and shout out for him Groupthink
Groupthink.
as well.
Group
because
think.
I really fuck with y'all's releases so far, like the two of you, and I really want to see some more of that. So,
Oh my god,
Yeah.
we're working on it.
yeah, I'm hyped to hear that for real.
You only think of yourself. self.
I need to catch
Groupthink.
up on all the
Banger.
different groups you're in.
Oh yeah, dude, Groupthink is fun. Groupthink's really fun. It's like drum and bass, like old like gorillas, like mixed with new school drum and bass. It's like really
It's a
interesting.
vibe for real.
Hell yeah.
Like punk drum and bass school.
Yeah, like punk jungle.
Yeah,
Jungle-
yeah,
jungle
yeah.
Jungle punk.
A little bit of emo influence in there, not too much.
Hell
Just
yeah.
a tasteful amount.
Devon emo jungle punk band.
Yeah, you know. Groupthink. There is another Groupthink too, without a question mark. Ours is with a question mark. We kind of make similar music. I
Just
feel like saw it afterwards. I was like, oh,
You
fuck.
show up to the just show up to the same show and are just like, that's Groupthink,
Groupthink.
and that's Groupthink. Like I think. Yeah.
We're unsure about ourselves right now. They're Groupthink, like they're sure, and we're unsure. Groupthink?
Yeah. Understand.
Groupthink?
There are group thoughts still happening.
Yeah. Yeah, we're still figuring it out.
Don't worry,
As a-
don't don't worry. Their question mark is there, just like really small font.
Oh, yeah.
It's there.
Their music's kind of good too.
Shout out Groupthink.
The
other one.
Yeah, the other
Yeah,
Groupthink.
Groupthink period.
Yeah. Do they? Do they have a period?
I don't know,
Non-punctuated
but-
groupthink.
Yeah, Groupthink the unpunctuated. That goes a little too hard.
That
Maybe
kind
I
of
should-
sounds cool.
That does go hard.
The unpunctuated sounds like a wrestler name
Bro, sounds like
or something.
It's all one word and no grammar.
that
Like
sounds
no
Okay.
grammatical points or whatever.
Unpunctuated.
They have a song called Does Your Mother Know?
Does your mother know?
Does she?
Does she?
Does your mother know on all great
Not
social
usually.
media platforms?
How funny would it be if I got groupthink question mark on the podcast, and then
With
the next
Groupthink
week,
the
the
band.
next week was groupthink with no question mark.
Oh my god.
That would be pretty legendary. I'm not gonna lie.
You
are, they
should have,
are they Floridian?
you should have I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're from another country maybe.
Oh damn! All right.
Get him on Discord. Let's call him.
you
yeah.
go.
You should have Chase and I as mutual fun.
Okay.
I think you should have Chase
Can I just have
the
you back
band
with
and I.
every group that you're in?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying we should just like
Back
have
to
like a
back.
session with. It's just like I keep on showing up every single episode is just me with other people.
That would be a crazy series
That would be
actually if
so
we just
funny.
did bands and groups, but they were all connected. But like we have him, and
By
then we
one
have
person.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
So
like-
we'll have Turbo Kid on, then we'll have we'll have like Jeremy, and then another band that Jeremy's in, and then another band that like he's in, or another band that another member of that band is in.
Yeah.
Like, just everybody is all connected.
That's
and everybody's
honestly a
being
pretty
interviewed.
good way to get in touch with musicians around here because everyone is in something with someone.
That's what I'm saying.
somewhere
It seems to be
else.
like, yeah,
like
primed for it.
I do my own thing and then I do stuff with friends. It's like normal to as a musician to like session musician for other groups or like
This podcast is creating its own sonic universe of
It
like, all
is.
these different people.
For real.
I almost said cinematic universe, but
it's like the Marvel
sound.
universe.
We out
pretty
here.
much
We out here for the culture.
Yeah.
one time.
Ghost in the Ox, X,
culture.
X, Threads, Instagram. I mostly use Instagram to be honest. So if you care to follow us there. Or if you really, really want to see us, the podcast on Threads, I mean, follow there too if you want. But I don't really use it that much. But if there's more people there, then I'll start using it. Patreon.com/ghostontheaux. What else? You have stuff.
This is all I have to plug at the moment.
Bandcamp.
sonustempest.bandcamp.com. Figure out how to spell that yourself.
It'll be on screen. I just
Learn
want
Latin.
I just want you guys to give him some money, buy his music,
That's fair. I
support
appreciate that. Yeah.
Sofa over here in whatever way you can. Also,
And give me money too.
give him money.
I got a single, an album, and an EP on there. Buy them all for some money, please.
Yeah,
Could use that.
for some money.
Yeah.
For
or
some
not,
money.
or just buy it for free. You can do that. That the option
Yeah.
is there.
Buy it
Mine.
for some money.
but buy it with money.
What's the price? Some.
Some
Yeah.
you know, yeah. What's the price?
A
Okay,
few.
here's the thing.
A few.
Yeah.
Name your own price, and I won't be upset at you
Kyle.
if you download it for free. But I will judge you. Like low key, you will occupy a lower strata than the people that have Patreon.
He will love
music.
you less.
Objectively, I can't help it. Like you know, put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, and especially if you don't download it at all, because that's even lower.
You think you think I'm not looking at my SoundCloud listens every single day?
Yeah.
You think I don't know?
Yeah. That's, as a musician, I'm a slave to my stats
I
right
know
now.
who my fans are.
Yeah. I see.
Send Trey funny
Shout out to my
meme.
regular listeners, by the way.
Send Trey funny meme Hamilton edits on Instagram.
I will. No, just don't do that.
Thank you for listening.
I will
Bye.
mail dubious packages to your house if you do that.
Wash your hands.